Remix. 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 Remix.
What it do, niggas? What's happening?
Morning.
It's been a long time.
Should have left you.
Oh.
Bad reference. Geechee, I love the fit today. I love the whole feng shui of the place.
Yeah,
Looks amazing. What's the inspiration?
nothing. Just set up in a different location.
Okay. I'm gonna need to know where I can get that top. It looks comfortable and sustainable. I need to.
Yeah, I got it from Goodwill somewhere.
Got you. Damn. Sometimes when you grab the best shit.
It was brand new. Shit. Let's get it.
Oh, your fro game looks immaculate today. I was just throwing mine together. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Thanks. I'm glad my hair reverted back.
Reverted back from what?
I pressed it.
Ah, gotcha. How long does that usually take?
And this is my first time having my hair silk pressed in like 10 years. I think it took her like an hour and a half to like actually do the pressing part. The other stuff probably took like an hour.
Mm. Is it like an enjoyable process, or I feel like it's a chore?
It was cool. I mean, I just kind of wanted to see how long my hair had gotten, but I also need to get my ends cut, so I was cool with it. She was like, I'm gonna cut like this much. Is that okay? I was like, yeah. Do niggas be crying over like an inch?
Yes. For the slow growers, that's a lot. They got to think about that. They got to be like, damn, it's gonna take me 4 months to get that back.
I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't feel like an inch is a lot, but I see people have to get like big cuts, like 2-3 inches. Now that's a lot, but I didn't have no damage or nothing. I take care of my hair. I just had to get my ends cut.
What y'all been up to this week?
Just getting back from Baltimore, and that was a good time with some friends and family, and then just working through some other unnecessary shit, but that's it.
What kind of unnecessary shit?
I knew you would ask that question, journalist that you are.
Shit that's unnecessary.
I knew Geechee would answer that way. Dialectics, man. I could see the future. Okay.
Yeah, Latif, I'm back at GA.
Shout out.
This is how my hair.
Oh, I like that.
And then it puts right back up.
So. Yeah, I was gonna say, and then it was real. You got that picture in.
Yeah,
it was limited time only.
This was like the third day, and then it was done for after that.
After day 3.
After day 3, it just got bigger, and like the hair just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like every day.
Is it humid out in Memphis right now, or is that just how it's gonna go?
No, my hair was just reverting back.
Yeah, it was.
It was just going back to its roots.
Its natural form, exactly.
Which was fine with me. I was totally fine with it. I was very worried it would not revert back, so I was totally fine with it reverting back. I wasn't upset. I just wanted to make sure it looked normal.
Yeah.
But you see how big it looks here?
Yeah. Oh, you were stepping out. I see. Amber had a good week. Yo. Okay.
I wasn't stepping out for it. I put it on the very last minute. to go on a little bout.
No, I just casually,
Nothing
What y'all got
Uh,
over there, Lord? What you was into?
well, y'all know I've been sick. I still sound kind of like Chucky Finster. I hate the congestion, but it is what it is.
You been taking drugs?
Yes, I did get some medicine. It's been okay. I'm supposed to start getting an allergy test, which I've never had before. Because
Oh, I had one of those. It was really cool.
what they revealed, did you find that? Did you have none? Are you blessed?
I had 5 allergies,
Okay.
but they weren't like bad or anything. I did the 81 stick test, and honestly, it doesn't like hurt. Like they just take this little thing and they just dip it in each allergen and stick you like this, and it just goes across
Okay.
your back, and you can pick which side of your back. So I picked the right side because I prefer my left side for everything, like I write with my left hand and everything. And I was like, if I'm gonna scratch something, I will scratch my left side. So I would rather do it on the right side. She was like, you'll know that it's like really working if you start itching really bad. Like that's how you know you're allergic. But I didn't start itching really at all. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be fine. But it does take a second. They poke you 80 something times if you do the 80 count test, or you can do a 31. But she said most people who have insurance they pay for the full 80 count test.
Yeah.
I prefer that, but I was only allergic to like specific type of dust, like milkweed, one type of tree, no animals, because people was in the group chat joking about me being allergic to my dog. There's no animals in there. And mold.
Mold, which is a lot of people. It's like kind of a universal.
I wonder what she would have said if you be like, when you say most people with insurance, what are you saying when most people don't have insurance? What are you saying and what you aren't saying? Because I always hear that phrase, people are like, most people with insurance, and be like, well, most people actually don't have insurance. So how do people without insurance?
Then they pay for it out of pocket. I mean, like when I say most people with insurance, I mean like people who have insurance, the insurance, like the overall insurance companies, apparently the lady said they all will pay for the 80 tests, but they only do it once.
Got
They'll
it.
pay for that one time. But for people who don't have insurance, you got to pay out of
Yeah,
pocket. I asked her
and they
how
probably
much
go
it
for
was.
that 30,
I was
right?
trying to see how much it was going to be. And she said it's like $180, which wasn't that bad. I think that it was more expensive because I was at an allergy specialist. Like I was at this place called Allergy and Asthma something. And I was like, okay. I found it on Google. I actually had to stop doing that, but it was fine. I asked him for a black doctor or someone of color, and the doctor that gave me, her name was Patel, and she was cool as hell, very helpful. She explained things very well, and she affirmed the exact things that I believed, which was that I was allergic to smoke, which is what people told me before. She was like, "You're definitely allergic," and that made me feel better because I don't like when I tell people that and they be like, "You can't be allergic to smoke. That doesn't make sense."
No,
She was
that's
like,
definitely.
your lungs are struggling. She could hear it like at the bottom, like where they're struggling. When I do like the breath, like smoke test thing, I had to do like a little smoke test thing they gave me. And I was like, see, I know I wasn't crazy. And she was like, yeah, it's actually very bad. And you're going to need a dual inhaler. And I'm going to get you one. And I'm going to get it for you today. And I said, cool. But I only had to use the inhaler twice. So it's actually not that bad.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I definitely was allergic to smoke more as a kid. My aunt would have to put me like in a special room when I stay at her place and like make sure the vents were open and all that because she smoked and it would drive me crazy, like throat scratchy, all that. So definitely an
Yeah,
allergy.
that's why I told her I feel like the allergy had gotten worse because I used to like just feel like my chest was tight, but my throat had got really scratchy and I lost my voice like in a matter of like an hour when I was out at this restaurant and they were smoking and I was like, I don't know why we're in a fucking restaurant and you're all doing hookah and lighting blunts up. We're in a restaurant. It's not even a lounge. It's not even a club. We're in a restaurant. Okay, whatever. So she was like, yeah, you're just allergic to it.
That's the new wave though. It's Miami now. I'm saying like people. throw all the money instead of the club to go to a restaurant, and then they ask for a club experience. They got a DJ in
Yeah,
there. They
I
asking for
hate that.
hookah and taking shots at a table. I'm like, y'all
No, I'm
just
okay with taking shots at a table, but like
no, no. I'm
I
saying the
need
whole
to.
club experience is at the
Oh
table. They
no,
got the bottle coming out and all that while you eat your meal. I'm just like,
I
that's
feel
a
like we have
lot,
to
guys.
separate them because, like, if I'm going to the club, I'm not trying to talk. But like, if I'm going to dinner with my friends, I'm trying to talk to them. So I can't hear anything if they have a DJ and like they're doing all this stuff. And I couldn't hear very well at the place we was at, and it was so annoying. And this was like in Charlotte. This I wasn't even here in Memphis. I was visiting my friend in Charlotte, so I was obviously trying to like talk to her because we hadn't hung out like in person in like a few years, but we talk all the time. And I couldn't hear nothing, and people smoking left and right, and you just could
Yeah,
hear my voice going out slowly and slowly. And they were both my friends were looking at me like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I don't know, actually." And then she was like, "Yeah, it was just the smoke." I was like,
yeah,
"Okay."
yeah. Make you contradiction though. I love brunch, so I say all that shit, and then it's if you just don't make it
I do
dark
love
out,
brunch.
if you don't make it
I
dark out,
love
I'm
brunch
cool.
with a DJ on
So
a patio though, not
yeah,
inside. I like
exact,
when they have the DJ on the
correct.
patio and
Yep.
you can be on the patio having brunch with your friends, taking shots. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm down for
Hmm.
that. But if we're inside, I do
At
need the
night,
club experience to not be happening
exactly,
inside.
exactly. That's how I
But
feel.
that's just me.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
asked Lorik if you grew out of your allergy.
Well, that's our man behind the scenes, Josh. I appreciate it. No, I haven't cut it in a while, so by default, I grew it out. But
Okay.
it's actually it's not as long as it usually is. Well, wait a minute. Josh laced us with a checking question, which was,
I'm
oh,
supposed to
okay.
listen
Are y'all watching
to
those the Winter Olympics at all? That's what I was gonna wonder. And then we could just get
why
into
would I
ear
be watching
doctors
the
thing.
Winter Olympics?
Why would you be?
No. The only thing I've seen about the Winter Olympics is there's this little bitty Latina girl on the skeleton team who's competing, and she is so small, but she's like buff. And she was posting TikToks of like the outfits they gave them and like being excited to be at the Olympics. I saw her TikToks, that was it. And like she posted like some little fun like dancing TikToks that I saw. That was it. And then there's a figure skater. Her name is Amber Glenn, but she was fucking up. And I said, "Damn, you didn't get a fucking gold."
Wait, was she black? No, okay.
No, she's white and she's
Okay.
queer, and she had the
Okay.
nerve to get up there. Like she like went viral for these comments about the Trump administration and like LGBTQ communities. But then she got a fucking Starbucks partnership. I said, "Oh, we
Oh,
only care about the gays for real because we don't really care about people." Because she was like, and because of what's happening with our community, we've been, really working with other communities. We have to stand up for our rights. I said, "Are you really? Because you got a Starbucks partnership." But I
well,
don't
yeah.
watch the Winter Olympics. I don't really watch the Olympics, but I did see her on TikTok. The Amber Glenn girl, one of her performances like went viral or something on TikTok because she fucked up, I think, a few nights before, and she had like a redemption skate or something, and that like went viral. And I just saw that like randomly when I was scrolling, but I don't know her.
Yeah, I mean, well, the big thing is that Amber don't care about Palestinians that are gay. That's the community ends there, obviously, and we
But she
know
did
that.
make a video of her, and I think one of the other teammates is gay too. And they was like, when you make comments about your life, or when people just want you to be just an athlete or something, and they had the little audio that said "hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad," and I was like, "That's so interesting of you to do this. Like you really did something super controversial." That's actually the first TikTok I saw, so I went to go find what she said, and she didn't say anything like insane. Like it wasn't like really sticking it to the man or nothing. She was just like saying some basic ass comments. So I was like,
Yeah, of course, of course. And, liberal celebrity, we know the
and even
default.
that little bit of what she said had people so up in arms. Was so funny.
Yeah, and I was asking because I'm always curious how we get exposed to different stories, because I hadn't seen it either because I haven't been watching TV. I don't really turn TV on as much. It's most of my computer,
The
but
Olympics are.
algorithm
I
and
know
and
Leah
stuff like that.
said the Olympics are on. They're on Peacock. That's how I know that
Right.
they're
Yeah.
on.
Some
I
people are
have
streaming it that way. YouTube obviously gives it some recommendations, or yeah, in my social media. So the only story I had seen about it was actually something that Decolonial Accountant brought up. Um, Also, I'm so sorry. Someone earlier said
why they have to change their
uh,
uniform.
Geechee got the pop the balloon background.
You do.
All right, let me get this
Are you
story.
trying to like tell us something, Ichi? Do you want to be the next host? Or do
You could be a great host to that show because he'd
you
be
want to be the
really
next
breaking
host?
people
Or are
down.
you auditioning? Or
I would
He'd be
definitely host that. I would definitely walk the person down and talk to the balloon, and I would definitely, I would do that.
okay, I think you'd be a good host.
Thank you.
I think Ichi would be healing people.
Why did Haiti have to change their uniforms?
I'm glad you asked. The original uncensored Haiti's Olympic uniforms were designed by Stella Jean as a tribute to Toussaint Louverture, the revolutionary leader who led Haiti to independence and changed history. But Olympic officials required a neutral uniform. Okay. So, okay. So clearly we can see on the front there is Toussaint on his horse. It's very beautiful, very colorful. And so this was supposed to be a part of the design.
How was they gonna stay warm in it? But never mind, keep going.
Well, they're gonna do it like so. Yeah, this was just the print, and then you could see that they put the print on the winter gear, and so the Olympic look censored. Toussaint Louverture was removed, so they kept the horse. They kept this horse.
That's dumb. Why would they remove him? Like
The horse just riding through the wilderness. I
are
guess.
we supposed to like? Were people? They think people really gonna know who he was?
What are you serious? You asking that? Why? Or you just like sarcastically asking that question?
I'm sarcastic.
Oh,
yeah. This is they took it off. The Olympic officials. I mean, just letting you know.
And is that a real outfit? Like what? Slow down again, because so let me tell y'all this. I'm sorry.
First of all, it's ugly, but yeah, keep going.
I don't know about ugly, but I'm just saying, like, I actually didn't know this was going on. So I'm with Leah. And whenever y'all said something, I said, "Oh shit, let me go to Google because I don't. When did this start?" And Google has the little image where, and I was like, I didn't see that. And if it's been going on since February, I've never paid attention. I didn't even know what y'all was talking about. I was like, Winter Olympics ain't Winter Olympics over? But now, what game is this now?
So this isn't a game, but this was part of their outfit. So basically, they were going to take the Toussaint design like this. Which is in more traditional club. Then they're going to put it on the winter clothing that they wear to the games. And so they removed the horse, but they kept the land and the colors and all of that. So it says, why was it censored? Olympic officials required a neutral uniform, removing Toussaint Louverture and any political or historical references from the official Olympic design.
Hey,
so
sorry guys, it's not neutral if you take Toussaint off. It's actually the other side.
Yeah, exactly. But France participates. France probably complained, and we know, just like the UN, who gets to actually vote on these things. So Toussaint Louverture was the leader of the Haitian Revolution who led enslaved Africans to freedom. He defeated colonial armies and helped found the first free Black republic in history, reshaping the world forever. But our kids aren't taught about him. They're taught about George Washington because this is a normal world we live in. So this was how these fits ended up. So you can see how it would look on the kind of jacket sweats combo over here. So it's supposed to go up top on the jacket. Down here, it's on the bottoms. And so they got to keep the colors. And I guess the horse is supposed to be a symbol of someone. In Haiti, horses just ride themselves. But I do like the colors. I really do. The blue sky, the font they use is dope. But that's the Olympics. So that's how I found out about the Olympics. It's silly shit, like just being around in the world. Someone's got it on TV or it's in a meme somewhere. But also I saw the Google thing and then this story. And then someone just pointed out some other minor stuff. Canada apparently got disqualified for cheating and curling. Shout out.
I don't know if they got disqualified because I saw that they. Okay, I also saw this on TikTok. So I will say I have actually not watched the Winter Olympics because I don't really care. But I did see on TikTok that it was either Sweden or Switzerland says that Canada is a notorious cheater and they have always cheated in the curling thing, but they have never been able to prove that they were cheating. But they knew they were cheating. So this time when they competed against them, I can't remember if it was Sweden or Switzerland. I got to look it up. But they had someone set up a secret camera, like the Sweden or Switzerland news broadcaster, filmed from a different angle so that you could see that they were touching the thing with their curling tool and their finger. And they're not supposed to touch it with their finger, but they were touching it at an angle where the other cameras could not see they were touching it with their finger. And then they gave that to the officials to try to say they were cheating, which, I mean, I saw the video, they were cheating, but they said that they were gonna add an extra judge and show it from a different angle because of the video, but that they were not supposed to have someone filming from a different angle. Like, they got in trouble for that, which I thought was stupid because they were the ones that was cheating. And then the Canada people, like people in Canada, like were blowing up on the internet because they were like, this is not what Canada's about. We don't do stuff like this. So they were like, y'all are ruining our reputation as Canadians, because they was getting like a lot of bad press and stuff. And then they did the extra judge thing for 24 hours, but the teams complained about it because they said that there was a last minute change they normally don't do and that it was unfair. So that only lasted for 24 hours and they removed the extra judge. And now it's just going the same way it was before. And I think they're still cheating.
Olympics drama. Thanks for that breakdown. Yeah, again, I would not
I
have
still
known.
haven't seen anything like from the actual thing though, because I'm not watching the Olympics. I'm only seeing this from TikTok. So I'm only going off of the clips I'm seeing on TikTok, people explaining the beef on TikTok, and the clips of people like doing them side by side, which was interesting. Not interesting enough for me to watch the Olympics, but like, I also always think it's so interesting how not every country competes in every sport. I do think that's interesting because I know someone in the chat said that Israel still gets to compete. I still haven't seen them. Like, people were talking on TikTok about it. They haven't seen them compete yet because they only compete in like a few sports or something. And I think France only competes in a few too. Like, not all of them compete in everything, so you don't see them that much. Which, I mean, that makes sense. Like, you would want to put your people in the sport they're the best at that they could win. Right. But I always just thought it was interesting that like they don't even try.
Well, your nation has to have the infrastructure to actually compete, and we know that Palestine's the desert, so right, same thing with a lot of these.
But countries. I mean, you can feel the rhythm, you can feel the rhyme. If they can do it in Jamaica,
So Jamaica that's why they're considered such a exceptional story, and why we get that great movie.
Said, thank you, Amber, for real. Wow. As a curler myself, cheating and curling is horrific. And that's what I was gathering from the TikToks. I'm not gonna hold you. They seemed distraught on them TikToks. They were like, this is the worst thing that ever happened. This is a gentleman's sport. That's what they were saying. The Canadians were like, this is a gentleman's sport. I was like, what? What are you talking
That's what I was gonna say. Oh, they cheating the fake sport. Tell them it's fake. We're not the ones broadcasting that on the Olympic screen across the world. But okay, this we already started our flow, so this perfectly transitions into someone got on us about the thumbnail. But this perfectly transitions into our story about, does media pick our leaders? And of course, we see LeBron James saluting Denny, an Israeli.
What story?
I'm about to show us right now. Pulling it up.
Okay. Why are people in sports doing so much lately?
It was the NBA All-Star Weekend in this case. So it was pretty interesting, even narratively. It was the USA versus...
Like that was sarcastic, Ichi?
Yeah, like lately, them niggas been doing something for the last 40, 50 years. Like this, so ironically...
I didn't ever watch sports.
Hopefully my cousin not watching, but she started doing this like thing on social media. Shout out to the Black History Month joint. And she is highlighting everybody from our hometown who made it in some type of entertainment or sports way. Right? So it's like Charlemagne, Kevin Phillips, actor, my cousin Joe Hamilton, Courtney Brown, all these people went to the NFL, NBA, or whatever. And that's what she's shouting out. Like, all the regular people who've been doing shit in life, like, that's kind of how Black people see proximity to whiteness, through entertainment. So, like, them motherfuckers always been the spokespeople and the people we look to for the sign of, like, I guess, doing well or authority or something like that.
Oh, I do want to just read Latif's comment real quick because I do know this. He was talking about how the opening ceremony was eye opening because some countries like U.S. and Canada have hundreds of athletes, but Haiti, Cuba, and Ukraine have 1 to 3 athletes. That's true for all the Olympics, the summer and the winter, because because they're poorer countries, they can only afford to take so many athletes, so they only have like usually under 5, and they only put them in like their best sports, basically.
Yep.
I
Yep.
did know that from like just research I've done in general, but I also think that the U.S. and Canada and the other big states should take less athletes too, because one thing I also kind of went down the rabbit hole on TikTok of was the stipend that they get. So once you've won a gold medal, or any actually, once you've won a silver, bronze, or gold, you get a stipend from the U.S. Olympic Federation, people, whatever. The stipend only $300 a month.
Mm.
But if you're in like Russia and them places, they pay for their housing. Like they put them up in like townhouses, they pay for their lifestyles, they get them huge monthly stipends and shit. So I just
Mm.
think it's wild the way they do that. And I think if they had less athletes, they actually will pay more. But because they want to, dominate as the US and all the sports, they won't do that.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Uh, that's the political economy of sports. It's really interesting in that way. I got to talk to Erica and your doctor about that on Wednesday, but it is like you have to think of it in terms of career path. So, Amory, like you're 100% right. That's what I was saying before. It's really about if you can build enough to develop a system there. Because, like, again, even if it's not snow in Israel, if they got enough infrastructure and resources to create fake hills and all of that, I'm sure they would. So it really is
Yeah.
about resources, which is why, yeah, like the U.S. getting hundreds is a show of
That's why
force in a
Canada be
way.
doing so good in the Winter Olympics, though, because they have natural snow.
That they, yeah, exactly. The settlers, they stole land that already allowed them to have the infrastructure. So, yep. So, I mean, you were talking about why so much going on. I think the All-Star game happened, and what was interesting about it this year was it's been getting kind of stale for a lot of different reasons, and so they made it a
Because the
USA versus.
WNBA All-Star game is better.
I don't deny that. My brother's a New York Liberty super fan, so he be there season ticket stuff. So
Yeah,
I don't
ever since
deny
like
it.
after Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark went to the WNBA, the All Star Weekend started like becoming a bigger thing in the WNBA,
Hmm.
and they started getting better people that were coming. So they had better celebrities coming. They had more like people buying tickets because one of my best friends lives in Indianapolis, so she went because it was in Indianapolis, and I was like,
Hmm.
you know what, I'm going next year because I'm going this when they have the next one. Me and her gonna go, and I was like, it looks so much more fun than the NBA one. And I think that the NBA was really trying to. I did see more on TikTok about them this year than I ever have, and I think they were
Yeah,
trying to like fight back. I
I was gonna
don't
ask
think
that
that
the
they're doing
WNBA
better.
one more. Sorry. Go ahead.
I would say I don't think they're doing better. I don't think the NBA is doing better than the WNBA.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is the WNBA one more competitive? Because that's what people started complaining about was that no one takes the NBA one seriously. So if the WNBA
Mhm.
one is more competitive and the level is high, I'm pretty sure, yeah, everyone's gonna want that original All-Star energy.
I think the issue with the NBA and their All Star Weekend is that they only have so many players that are beloved, and with the WNBA, everyone loves all the players pretty much. Like there aren't as
Mm.
many, of course. So I think that makes it easier, but like because they're also playing, somebody just said in Unrivaled. They're also playing in Unrivaled, and they make
Uh,
great content from Unrivaled. I watch that content on TikTok too.
yeah, yeah, me
And they
too.
have the AU Pro Basketball League that's actually playing in Nashville right now that I bought some tickets to. And I think that helps their star power. People just like the WNBA players more. I think that's really what it is.
Mm.
I prefer the WNBA players. They're better at playing. They have better personality, they have better politics. I mean, they've been talking about the bargaining agreement stuff on TikTok in detail in a way that I never have seen the NBA do. Like one of
Mhm.
the players was talking about how like Chelsea Gray is like one of the star players, but she had to play like 30 minutes in a one-on-one championship to make what she would normally make as a salary in the WNBA, and how that's not fair to like their actual like worth. And it was really like good for me to hear like the comparisons of what's happening, because I think also the issue with the collective bargaining thing in the WNBA is that people aren't the WNBA side aren't saying nothing. They're not saying shit, but the players are speaking out, and I really appreciate that because it also helps us to support them more. Which is why I bought them AU Pro basketball tickets, and I got them Unrivaled tickets. I'm trying to go to all them joints, and I just think my bad. I just think the NBA has been struggling with that, and because of that, they really had to beef up their budget for All-Star Weekend this year. But then LeBron the Zionist did ruin it for them. But I did see Glorilla out there, and she was shooting buckets like a real Memphis nigga.
Yeah, she's short too to be throwing up shots like that. I don't respect that.
So
Geechee looks like, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been looking at some of the notes that we're supposed to be talking about today, and while Amber was talking, for the first time, I saw that video where the AI coffee shop, bro.
Yeah.
And I can't stop laughing, bro, because I'm like, if I was working there, my shit would be -5 because I ain't serving none of them niggas, and I'm gonna be drinking cups. But anyway, I'm sorry. We'll get to that story.
We'll get to that story definitely.
I thought she was laughing because I said MNBA.
No, I'm sorry, but back to that. In the NBA, and I think we're gonna talk about both WNBA, All-Star, all the NBAs. Every NBA there is. National Backyard Association, we used to call it back in the days.
Young boy.
Yo, yeah, them niggas too. Never broke again. Yo. But essentially, I know we might joke and be like, oh, well, LeBron is a Zionist or whatever. But all of them niggas are playing a role if they're gonna be in the entertainment screen. Because even when we read this what that boy name is? Spike Lee.
Mm-hmm.
That statement sounds like, oh no, I'm with y'all. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to disrespect anybody. So yeah, I just think these people are. I feel like we shouldn't limit our critique to those folks as ball chasers, as Diallo Latif saying there, but it's like the entertainment industry. Is there like a industrial complex? Entertainment industrial complex, is something like that that's called? I know we
know they're all. Honestly, we might as well just put it under the military industrial complex because we know that they're right here. They might as well. It might be a child.
Damn.
But yeah, definitely entertainment industrial complex, Hollywood, the NBA, NFL, MLB type things. But so yeah, I know we're gonna get to those stories. We actually have a good flow going between this one and then exactly what you were talking about, Geechee, like the celebrity class, how they all have to play a role. How if LeBron were not playing this role, he would not be at the level of success LeBron is, regardless of his talent. And so I wanted to let this play. Right, he's asked about an Israeli player who is a proud Zionist, proud of the Gaza genocide, and openly brags about it. What do you think about that, LeBron? And I just, as always, actually want to ground us in an image of LeBron that I really think captures the essence of this moment. And that is, let me see if I can find it. It's this right here. That time LeBron capped about reading the autobiography of Malcolm.
Lord, you got to understand, he don't care about the international stuff. He care about black people here. That's why he built those schools in Akron, Ohio. Promise Academy got so many black people there in that private school, relocating all the tax dollars to that school, taking all the other black students. So
that's exactly what we need. Privatized public services. Thank you, LeBron. And I also, while getting in good cardio, decide to read the autobiography of Malcolm X. That's when I get my best reading in. It's when I'm running. Let me just flip through these pages. Let me just highlight while I'm on this cycle right here. So, man, it has. Do they have? Is this the? Did they go play the full clip? This all TikToked out. There's a full clip of LeBron getting asked The autobiography. Let me see if we can find this. There you go.
Taylor, you want to follow up? Yeah. So you're holding the autobiography of Malcolm X along with Alex Haley. I don't know how far you are into the book, but what's your biggest takeaway so far?
Make the screen.
I kind of just started a couple days ago, but I've read and a lot of notes over the years. This is my first time actually reading this from start to finish. But just a very smart man.
Start it over.
Very, very, very smart man.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead, go big. Make it big.
Much ago.
You say he just started
along with Alex Haley. I don't know how far you are into the book, but what's your biggest takeaway so far?
I kind of just started a couple days ago.
Just started a couple days ago.
But I've read and a lot of notes over the years. This is my first time actually reading this from start to finish.
First time reading start to finish.
Very smart man. Very, very, very smart man. And basically, his words in the 60s and what was going on is actually what's going on today still. Him understanding the how powerful the Negro can be. He used that word a lot. How powerful we are. But we have to unite, and we have to be together. We have to stand strong because there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be things that's going to be thrown at us where they try to weaken us. They try to make us feel like we're not kings and queens. And it's going to come from all, different races and different shapes and sizes and things of that nature. Just a very powerful minded gentleman. And it's unbelievable to kind of read something that's coming directly from him. Just hate. Wish I had the opportunity to meet him. Obviously, we know the situation that happened among not only him, but Dr. Martin Luther King, some of the greats that's ever walked this face of the earth, not only just here in America, but in the face of the earth. So it's a pretty interesting book so far.
That nigga ain't read that fucking book.
Amber, you're the one in the back of the class like, yeah, read that shit. Yeah, we know. That's when I pull him to the side and I say,
Speaking
hey,
of my
okay,
TikTok
listen.
reporting that Dre mentioned earlier, I did see a video that went down a rabbit hole about LeBron in that book and how he was holding the Malcolm X book in the same exact place every time.
Right.
He had not changed the pages that he was on. And someone eventually asked him about it. He said, yeah, this is my first time reading it front to back. And I'm, really excited about it or whatever. And the guy was like, there's no way that he read that book front to back, because if he had got to chapter 9 of the book, then he would have heard about the things that Israel was doing to Palestine. And if he had got to chapter 19 of the book, he would have heard about the things that Malcolm X discovered when he was in Palestine. So there's no way he actually read the book. And I was like, or he did read it and he don't give a fuck. But I think he didn't read that book. I actually don't think he can read it. So let's go.
Nah.
Yeah, and I don't think he's gonna read anything about what he also said about the black celebrity. And how they should.
Not only does he, what Dre said, he does not fucking read. Not only does he not read, I don't think he can read.
Okay,
based off when his finger is placed in that same exact page every time.
I'm not doing that.
I need to hear him read it.
He's an actor. He's done some scripts. I think he can read. It's just like you said, he ain't reading the book.
People thinking the exact same thing I'm thinking. Can LeBron even read? We're in a literacy crisis. He barely graduated high school. Ask the question.
Y'all are funny. I'm not doing that to that man.
And Lord, I don't want you to act like people be reading scripts these days. People have these earbuds that tell you your lines, and you can say the lines at the same time.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, audio does allow a lot of that. Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, the way he be talking, ain't nobody feed him no lines. That's all him. He sounds dumb as hell.
No, they give him lines for movies. I was looking at this meme. This side can't stop me because I can't read.
Oh, I love. Hold on, I just want to say Arthur was one of my favorite childhood shows, and DW was we was locked in. My treacherous little twin. I said, you know what? She just like me for real. I be thinking the same shit. That sign don't mean
All
nothing.
right.
I don't even know what that say.
So that we need that drop. I know we had the Hiram drop. Read, and we just need this one
We do
because
need that drop.
she's perfect in this scene. I'm gonna find it. But yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. And so definitely, and you're absolutely right. Of course, when you actually read the book, but these people don't actually engage Malcolm. He's like the boogeyman for real, especially to the black celebrity class.
I
All right,
literally, when I saw that, because I don't watch sports, so I didn't know he was doing that. When the guy was showing all the pictures over the years of him holding that book in the exact same place,
all
I
right.
said, "Oh, he's just doing that to appear radical."
But
Cares
what's
about reading
really,
about revolutionaries. He's never even finished a book.
you
He
know
ain't
what's
made it
Obama.
past chapter 2.
what's kind of interesting. Like if you know a celebrity personally, you can know what's going in and out of their lives as opposed to what is being projected of what they're going through. But like you can, for instance, you will know there's certain things coming up before the public knows. So even like these celebrities have like publicists and people who are directing them. And so it's very well that something is coming up for LeBron where he has to appeal to the more radical black audience. And this thing says, yo, have a book in your hand when you interview about Malcolm X and just say some shit because you're gonna need them conscious niggas in a second. You know what I mean? So like I'm thinking sometimes like, and I don't say it, LeBron is probably that smart to think about it, but there's somebody around him telling him to do a thing because at this point he's just doing the thing. And then my question is why? Like what are you trying to get out in front of, or what are you trying to reshape or whatever? Maybe not.
Yeah, no, that's an old strategy of the black celebrity, the black bourgeois, the class. They'll just, immediately pander when they feel like they need some influence. Suddenly it's us again. They start using we and things like that. Imam Jamil talks about that with a doctor who started, with I, until he got knocked over the head by the police. And then he starts saying we. So we see how that goes.
So, and I'm talking about like, not necessarily because that's I'm gonna even throw that word out the devil because who's like your politics don't really matter if you don't practice it and people can measure it by the way you practice it. But what I'm saying is, how you can start even like the when a conscious rapper or whoever say something, there's like the cultural nationalists all flock to it and black people, and then we all talking about it and we try to find meaning in it. And basically, if LeBron talking about Malcolm X, the reactionary person who's a rad lib, I guess, will say, "Oh, he's deep now. That brother's reading this." And then if something happens to him, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he started reading that Malcolm X book, and the white man trying to take his money away," or something like that. Like these,
Yeah,
that's
they
what
know. They know. They
Yeah.
know that. They know the game. They know how this works in our community. That's why they're so dangerous. That's why, as Amber was pointing out, it's like counterinsurgent. And I just want to say that was so Obama-esque. Like, I just want to point out these people hang with the Obamas. Like, and the Obamas got the All-Star game this year. Oh, which will bring us right back to that. And there were so
He
many
was.
people who
They were
were.
so happy to see that nigga. I said,
That's right.
"Lame."
They friends. Like these are close people. So the way he talks, his cadence, all of the and powerful man, he knows how to say the safest shit possible, the most boneless, substanceless thing that you could say. He's just not as good as Obama at doing it. So it sounds a little more like when we're talking about it, it's like, okay, you're the kid who didn't read. Like I would pull you to the side and be like, okay, are we gonna actually read the book this time? I'm gonna give you an extra week. Come back and fix it.
And do a different report.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you some questions about the main idea and the setting. I'm gonna do the who, what, when, where, why. We're gonna actually know you're in the damn book. But he sounds like Obama to me in this, and how much he's dodging and all of that. So it makes sense. Now
Speaking
this
of
year,
Obama,
and then you had the Super Bowl, not the Super Bowl, damn, see, in my head. The All-Star game came right after the Super Bowl. So that's right, you're right, Amber. Like a lot of things have been happening in succession in terms of big sporting events. So the All-Star game comes on, and this year it's USA versus the world. And as you're saying, WNBA probably has more, better competition in even some of these mini games and stuff.
the
dunk
theme was
contests
USA
is
versus
terrible.
the world.
So because this is what's happening that's interesting in the NBA right now, because of cultural imperialism, what Erica talked about on Wednesday, the rest of the world is catching up in terms of basketball. And so that's why Luka, who they'll say is the best player, he's not, is a white boy from Slovenia. We got Nikola Jokic, who's also from Eastern Europe. We have players coming from Africa, all over the world now. And so basically France as well, like Wembanyama, who everyone's talking about. Now they're all Africans, which ends up being the same competition in FIFA. Mbappe's a damn Haitian playing for France, and Haiti can't put their own liberation leader on their own, thing. So we know these contradictions, right? But now the NBA has a lot of high level talent, some of the best shies from Canada that can be in the All-Star game. And there's so much talent in terms of youth for the league in the NBA versus some of the elders who are still playing, elder and NBA age, which is their late 30s, that are still good. So they split the teams up. There were 3 teams. There was Stars and Stripes. So Stars was one USA team. Stripes was another USA team. And then there was the World team led by Victor Wembanyama. And so the Zionist team, the Steph Curry, LeBron team, although Steph was injured, that was one. Then we had young NBA players, and then we had international players like Wembanyama. And this year, the reason why you heard it was so good is because them niggas were playing for real. Like they actually wanted to win the game. It was actually competitive. We already know the narrative of USA versus the world, but then they had old versus new guard, that kind of thing. So there's this famous image of, if you know Kevin Durant, you know that he's super tall, like over 7-foot wingspan. And so there was a world where no one really thought that would ever be passed. And Wemby passed that. I'm going to show you all the image that everyone's been looking at from the All-Star game.
I am so dang lost. Luka is that good. They say Luka is one of the best.
Yes, people who don't know ball, but he is really good. He's extremely offensively talented.
So he's the best. He's best offense and playmaker ever. He's one.
No. He doesn't play defense. He's not the best, but he is really good offensively.
I'm saying Dre's saying that he's one of the best offensive playmakers ever. But plays no defense ever, like in the world.
He's up there. He's talented. He's really nice. I know people who know ball who think he's nice. So, all right. So this is the shot. Hold on, I'm not sharing my screen. That everyone's talking about, where Kevin Durant, who already has a 7-foot wingspan, is shot over by Wemby, Victor Wembanyama, who again is not from the U.S. and he's fetishized for that in some ways, because he's not an American black and not like one of us. But he is 7'5", and so this is just a crazy thing to see in basketball. Maybe read us some. So you can just see somebody who's 7 feet tall getting shot over by someone who's 7'5". Which this looks insane.
Look at that release, though. Release is perfect.
So in the MNBA this year, remember, that's why it was so competitive. We got some young players from around the world. And it's sort of
I'm not enthused. That did nothing for me. I do want to know why they always got on them long white sleeve things.
It's a shooter sleeve, just makes you feel more comfortable. But yeah, there's a lot going on. But regardless,
well,
same thing, and then it can hold sweat as well if you like the dry fit and stuff like that. It's an aesthetic, but it also has some sort of function.
It all feels very aesthetic only to me.
True. Some players wear body armor though. I know Dwayne Wade used to back in the day, and that actually is more helpful for people who get hit and things like that. But some people like the compression.
Yeah, I do know like they have like the little face mask and stuff. But like when Angel Reese was wearing it and she only had one leg, I'd be like, "You're doing this on purpose for aesthetics." Because what are you doing?
I mean,
what's the one leg doing?
Compression and contracting muscles and warming, doesn't it prevent cramps and other strains that could possibly happen?
I believe that's the science behind it. I also think feel is important for just an athlete in general. But yeah, all right. So finally, we get to all that context laid. We can get to LeBron's statement, which again was covered earlier this week. Jared covered it. I believe it was talked about in earlier remixes. So we're just trying to expand that whole celebrity analysis, because this video thumbnail was, does the media pick our leaders? And so we got to be clear on what that means. Oh, sorry, I guess it's muted. Right.
What message would you like to send for Israel, and also what do you think about Denny Avdia?
He is an all-star. He's playing, exceptional, basketball. If I have fans over there, I've never been there. If I have fans over there, then, I hope you been following my career. I hope I inspire people over there to not only want to be great in sports, but want to just be better in general in life. So hopefully someday I can make it over there. Like I said, I've never been over there, but I've heard nothing but great things, and I appreciate the question.
For all the Israel.
That boy fell in line. That boy fell in line. The leash. You can see it.
I didn't even know what the fuck he said. He ain't say nothing.
He said he's happy to go to Israel. He said he's heard nothing but great things.
But okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was originally with the people when they were like, you know, he really ain't saying shit until he said he heard great things. I was like, you just saying shit because you ain't heard nothing about them people. You don't know. You just
Nah, Amber, on this one, like you said, your conspiracy theory on the not reading. My conspiracy theory is he absolutely has heard backlash about this. I know I know the celebrity class lives in this like kind of I'm so insulated bubble that I don't hear the nonsense because they're all Obama's friends, which we must keep pointing out. But I know, like, there's no way he hasn't heard some sort of controversy around this, seen it. They don't escape the real world. There are protests still, as much as we critique protests. Oh yeah. Oh yes. I'm just saying. I think he's heard of what's going on actually, and I think that's where.
He hasn't heard great things. I think he's just talking. Like, you know, when people ask you a question, you don't really know. You just saying like vague shit. That's why he's saying, "I heard great things. I want to go over there one day." He ain't even saying them the place. I don't even know if he know that when she's saying Israeli, she's talking about Israel. Like he just talking, and he really should have shut the fuck up. When they said shut up and dribble.
I don't even know if I got fans over there, but if I got fans over there, I can spot. What the fuck is he talking?
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And that's why they said shut up and dribble. You know, you niggas.
No, that's why we say it. They say we can't let the white people. That's the funniest thing. But we say it for that reason. Yeah, I mean, he's also defending his colleague, but his class interests. We can talk about that because LeBron broke a player strike when Obama asked him to, along with Udonis Haslem. I must point that out because he gets a lot of love in Miami.
Yeah, you know, the NBA is weak. They need money. The WNBA are holding strong.
Well, we'll see because their union still has, you know, same contradictions in a lot of ways with the player association. But I do think they are more politicized by the very fact that they're more exploited, that they haven't been paid properly for years and had horrible facilities and horrible infrastructure. That naturally is just going to make, I think, players more aware of why this is important. But there are a lot of, you know, the NBA, the MNBA and the WNBA have a lot of legal corporate power to keep people in check, you know. So, all right. So that's the interview. Now, there's a follow-up here.
Sorry, I had interrupted you. No mistake.
No, I just was reading. I think Dre saying like LeBron said something about October 7th, but he was just saying in protection of Israel. So.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Dre. Great receipt. LeBron did speak about October 7th. His business partner, Maverick Carter, also has investments in Israel. So this is not, that's why there's real Black misleadership class here. And I know that was originally a term for the political class, but this is why we expanded to include celebrities and entertainers because the line is so blurred at this point. Because they all hang out and because they understand, especially for Black people, that they need to capture us and our influence, as we saw in that email released from the Epstein files, where they talked about us being bought off by Jay-Z. Now, this is what actually happened in the NBA, if you understand the struggle and even mention it, which is why, again, I know LeBron has handlers. That's why I mentioned the leash. There's absolutely no way he's not aware of Dwight Howard, because if you all know, Dwight Howard was LeBron's teammate on the Lakers for a brief period. So let's hear what happened when Dwight talked about Israeli genocide.
Tweet free Palestine. Less than 10 minutes after I tweet that, I get a call from the commissioner of the NBA.
Stop it.
Agents, people like working with my foundation at the time, Texas, you got to erase this tweet. You got to take this down. You're going to get it. I'm like, what did I do that was so bad?
Can somebody explain to me?
Yeah, can somebody explain? You know, and it was just like, because I went against the grain. I said something that people didn't like. And I, you know, now.
Not people didn't like, they didn't like.
So now it's like, I got to stand on what I believe and how I feel and not go back on it.
Yeah.
And when you're in the league, you be in that place where if I say too much, or if I say something, I may not get a job no more.
That's that 70% of people that's out the league that got
I
you.
gotta hold my tongue.
Shout out Craig Hodges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think and a bunch of people wrote about capitalism. I finally got this book and I showed you Richard Wolff. But
you got another book, but we haven't gotten a book.
But I think the social arrangement of capitalism, like I think when we think about capitalism, we just think about money, but like the social order and the social arrangement, I don't think we give enough time to that because if we do, then we can think about power and the relationship to power, internally, externally, or whatever. But yeah, but most people are operating in the like. I had a comrade who was sharing with me one day that they understand that there's a toxic power dynamic in an environment. They understand that it is, but that also toxic proper environment could provide housing for them who is house insecure. And they said one day, like they said they're afraid that their living situation gonna make them do something unprincipled, like trying to secure housing to take advantage of a situation that somebody. So I don't know. I just as a celebrity, the idea of like, oh, I can't do this because it's gonna whatever. Now, granted, all these motherfuckers are probably living beyond. Like one of the checks they get should probably carry them over for a long fucking time. So at this point, passing up money, I don't know if it's the same as somebody who on the ground who literally can't say a particular thing. Like we create cultures where you can't say what's right because of the consequences of what's right. I mean, the consequences that would happen to you if right. So yeah, I'm just always curious about how that conversation happens in different rooms, whether it be organizations, in the workplace, on media, but whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of when I hear that guy.
I mean, I can tell you about my experience. Because you talking about this reminded me of like the shit I went through around the Free Palestine shit. So for people who are watching on the stream who don't know, that I'm the Black Caucus Chair for Young Dems of America. In 2023, when the October 7th shit happened, I put out a statement on Twitter, on like all my socials about what's happening in Palestine and that, they have a right to exist, they have a right to defend themselves. We don't get to, people have a right to, the land that they're entitled to or where they're living. We don't get to displace those people. Like a very like realistic statement, just talking about what was happening. And there were multiple judicial complaints filed against me to get me removed from my position, to get me removed from Young Dems for a lifetime, to have a lifetime ban, all because they didn't like that I said that. So when you played that video of Dwight Howard, it was funny because that shit happened that quick. Like somebody filed a complaint like the next day. And that's usually what happens like in those like settings. And I think that especially being in those kind of orgs, I see how people individually believe things, but they won't ask the group to stand on something like that because they get attacked for it or they get pulled to the side or they're like, oh no, you got to pull that resolution. We're not doing that. Like that happens a lot. And so I'm not surprised that Dwight Howard said that or that he had that experience because that's exactly what they're experiencing. Now, if this was a job, I might have been a little more like apprehensive about what I said. Like I might have been like, oh, I'm kind of like worried about this judicial complaint. This ain't my fucking job. This some volunteer shit. I was not going to change my mind. Like I didn't take the statement down, but if it was my job, I would have been like, damn, I am kind of worried I might my internet fucking up. If it was my job, I would have been worried like, dang, I don't want to lose my job over this, but I still wouldn't have taken it down. I wouldn't have removed it. I just would have been stressed, a little bit more stressed about it. But it was stressful. Like I had to get a lawyer. Like, they have to make you like for the judicial process, you have to like go through an entire like court proceeding type of thing. So I had to get a lawyer and all this shit just for them to not like they didn't hear the complaint. They were like, no, this isn't like worthy of a hearing, but that's exactly what happens in a lot of spaces. I had a lot of friends who were also in Young Dems or who were at jobs, at corporations, who were making statements or saying like even just free Palestine, who were like, no, you got to, the job said like, you got to take this shit down. Like they were not fucking around. So I do think that's a real life thing people deal with. Huh?
I said fascism is already here.
Yeah. And I do think that's a real life thing that people deal with. And that's also why when we were seeing so much stuff blow up about Palestine, I didn't get why people were like so geeked up about it. I was like, they just making Twitter posts. Like this ain't doing shit for real. But my Palestinian friends were like, no, this is a big deal because people won't even do this. They won't even say this on Twitter. Like the censorship is that bad. And after experiencing the censorship, not even from, I will say also, the nigga who filed a complaint ain't even Jewish. This motherfucker said he was converting to Judaism and he felt personally offended by my statements as someone who was converting to Judaism.
Right. And I think that's the biggest contradiction I want to highlight because as Chidimatra raises, all the censorship should make people stop to think about why. And we know that, and our enemy knows that, which is why they have this strategic lies set up for you to fall into. So the way I've heard people who are starting to think about that go is, oh, well, it's because of the Jews. And we know that's an old right-wing anti-Semitic trap. So when people do stop and think about why, we want to guide them here and not to, oh, well, that's because the Jews control things, or even just an incorrect political analysis like Israel controls the US. Misunderstanding. No. There's a power relationship here. One of these people has the biggest military in the world, and the other one is Israel. So that just needs to be addressed each time. I know Dre in the chat, I think, raised something that's worth noting as well about Dwight Howard, which is I don't know if Dwight played in the NBA again after that statement. Wow, that's very interesting because Dwight Howard technically is not officially retired from the NBA, but his last season in the league was the 2021 to 2022 season with the Lakers. Following his NBA career, he played in Taiwan's T1 League in 2022 to 2023, and then I know he's in the big league in 2025. So, people did this with Kaepernick as well. Oh, he just wasn't good enough to stay in the league anymore. All right, well, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but we already know that there is a explicit reason the NBA has to push him out after this event. So all of that, as you just said, Amber, about jobs and career path, it all has to be considered. And that's the danger of stepping up as just an individual, not if he had the Players Association that could do something, that could step in and protect players, that could actually control the industry itself. But we know that compradors, petty bourgeois, big bourgeois now, players like LeBron will make sure that doesn't happen. So it's tough.
Yeah, I do think they use the guise of. I'm sorry.
No.
I was gonna say they definitely use the guise of like anti-Semitism, and like being Jewish as a attack tactic from stuff like that. But even the people who testified on my behalf are like, this is not anti-Semitic. We're making up new rules that don't exist. And even if you look at the standards of like what's considered anti-Semitic, this doesn't meet that. And because it wasn't like the complaints weren't working, then the folks in the Jewish caucus started doing things like making statements at the meetings we were having. We have meetings every quarter saying that Jewish women don't feel safe coming here because of all the anti-Semitism, like trying to create this narrative, basically, that we're so anti-Semitic at these meetings that Jewish women don't feel safe, which is not true. They're just saying shit because they're trying to switch the narrative because all of their complaints they're filing aren't working. And I thought that was an interesting pivot for them. I said it's so random of you to pivot to that. But
it's very interesting. Yeah. This actually flows. The story just keeps flowing. So this will go straight into this next piece because there was one other element to the story to talk about, which was everyone's reminding us about Spike Lee, which is on our run sheet. So this is in the Times of Israel. Spike Lee wears pro-Palestinian outfit to NBA All-Star game featuring first Israeli player. So this was the outfit that Spike Lee wore. And as much as you'd want to give him credit, as much as you're seduced into giving him credit, like with Malcolm X, we know that at the end of the day, it's boneless, it's spineless. And so what happened next? Spike Lee apologizes.
So,
The
so
side said they got him. And that's what I mean by they. Who is the they? We got to be clear. It's Zionists. So that's why even this language sometimes makes me a little nervous.
tell me this. Let's say, for instance, that there was a strategy or tactic or something.
Mhm.
What exactly would Spike Lee wearing anything pro-Palestine at an NBA All-Star game, like what would it do?
Right.
What's the net positive for Palestinian children getting their head blown off? Like, what's the net positive? I'm not really sure. What the fuck?
Yep. There is none. It's all symbolism, which is why, again, like standing up as an individual, we know doesn't do anything. It has to be coordinated. It has to be part of a movement and things. So yeah, as much as Spike on his own individual self woke up one morning and decided he wanted to be pro-Palestine, his own individual self with no accountability, can the next day just fall right back. Because the system, the people who are organized, the Zionist machine will swallow that person whole, especially if their shit was weak to start with.
This is where the fuck I'm at right here.
Yeah, of course.
Like it becomes like, so at this point it becomes even like disgusting, even if like, because we know you ain't gonna do shit, and this proved that you ain't gonna do shit. But like now, like an aesthetic, nigga, like niggas is getting their head blown off, and it's like it's a fucking style now, bro. Like you wearing it as a style, like an outfit to be discussed. Like,
and this one of the reasons why I don't be wearing my keffiyeh like that no more, because I feel like niggas was just doing that shit because it was an aesthetic of, like, you know, either it looks good as a I'm with Palestine, or you get targeted for wearing that shit. Like I got like pulled aside at the airport one time. I said, nah, I'm good. But also niggas was just doing that shit because they were like, oh yeah, I support Palestine. All these white folks is just buying keffiyehs and wearing them. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm putting that shit down. I mean, I still have it. Like I still wear it occasionally, but I feel like it's only an aesthetic thing. It's a, you know, this is a signature I'm with the movement type of wardrobe, and I don't like that. I also don't think it's the best thing to do. Like I don't necessarily want people to know that I'm a movement nigga based off my clothes.
Yeah, I think it depends. It could be a form, obviously, for Palestinian people, it is a form of resistance similar to us wearing our afros. So I can see how it's complex in that way. But I hear you, Amber. I also think it's aesthetic. I'm pretty sure we know that. And what I just keep coming back to is the psych warfare that Jared talks about. The media is the fifth arm of the military, because I just think of how Spike is going to want to be remembered. How we're going to have to watch documentaries about how he was this revolutionary filmmaker one day, and that's going to be passed on to our kids. And in it, I'm sure that image of him in that Palestine shirt is going to be an aesthetic, not him putting his tail between his legs and apologizing the next day, but that image. Because he, like he's saying, this is part of the psych warfare. He knows that that image is powerful enough that despite he can even you can edit things, you can be creative when you're lying like this and make it look like, see, the Times of Israel, he's a controversial. It just keeps his own individual aesthetic and mystique going. But Spike's always been like this. He's always been tap dancing between empire. Well, we should say he became this, but he's always been, flirting with radicalism, not really having a coherent analysis. He did the kind of thing, the pro-America, we built this thing recently, I believe, where he made a movie about Vietnam veterans that sounded, or Korean War veterans or something, black ones. I got to look that up. But yeah, this is how he moves and lives. So no surprise.
Yeah. So two things. And we should have read a little bit of that, but we talked about this Monday, me and Renee, that it's obvious that if you have the intentions to wear something for a conversation starter, you want to, politicize people, or you wearing something to make people who are under attack, who identify with that flag, feel safe. They feel like they have allies. So if you walk in the big ass New York crowd and you don't know which one of these niggas going to take you out, somebody with this particular flag or garment or whatever tells you that you're safe. So if there's a strategy behind it, if you're a part of something bigger, of your whatever, it makes sense. As it relates to that dude, even in that, within his first few statements, like this Americanized, like, oh, I care about the children and the civilians in Palestine, as if like the children and the civilians aren't also a part of the people who are trying to defend their livelihood, or if the civilians and the children's families, mothers, fathers, cousins, whoever, aren't the motherfucking people who. So if you really care about the civilian and children, you wouldn't be trying to kill their protectors who protecting them from your stupid ass.
Right.
Yep. Now, I had a piece that's similar to this, but hold on one second. Let me see. I'm gonna have to probably find it. It seems like it's not coming up on its own. But this was also just again as media pick our leaders. I wanted to re-engage that question with y'all. Did you have any thoughts on it in this case or in what we've discussed so far?
The idea that media picks leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Parenti. The media has invent reality, and yes, they definitely signal who we should follow. And if the media controls the domains of discourse and they shape the way in which you have conversations, so they can shape the way in which they can shape who you have conversations about. So
Yep. No, I agreed. I was gonna say I think it's a little more complicated, and that's not a hand-picking thing. It's more that with a puppy you can see the strings. I think Gabriel Rockhill said this recently. But once you own the puppet factory, nobody has to see the strings anymore. So I think there's a ground up effect where we're generating these kind of figures ourselves just naturally. They're coming to try and fill a role. And then there's obviously an engineering effect at the top where once they do find this person, oh, this person can be useful, let's put them on the pipeline. Let's get them in the conversations with Obama or for the right wing Trump and them and that kind of thing. So this piece right here was from Brandon T. Jackson. Did either of y'all see the movie Lottery Ticket?
Maybe
A while ago.
Yeah, I saw it.
Classic film.
Oh,
It is. Well, I'm showing my millennial stuff, but it's a movie with Bow Wow.
Lord, let me ask you a question about something you said real quick.
Mhm.
Would you say that, because me and Asafa used to have this conversation around who's responsible for those misleaders? Is it us? And Diallo, we have this conversation too. Would you say that we, as the audience of consumers, we show the capitalist, the person, the people, who to buy? So for instance, if we keep support, like Bootsy used to sell out at the New Orleans the Saints Stadium before he was known. And if they see that person has that much influence, they be like, well, we need to, get brands to get brands to Bootsy. So would you say that our role in it is offering up, showing them who they should purchase? Like, is that how you see it?
Yeah, I do, but I think it's something I saw for Deep earlier that I wanted to raise. This would be part of my answer, which is capitalism. The issue is that we need services, but they're controlled by private entities, private property. That's the issue. So I think we have to exist in a society, and this becomes like the trap of being so individual. I'm sorry if I'm frozen, yeah. It's super low on my internet. I'm trying to figure it out. But I think we get stuck on the individual, like having to participate in the system type thing, and that's just natural. So are we going to buy goods and services? Yes. Are we going to exchange and trade? Yes. All of these are normal human activities. They're just captured by capitalism because it's a total system, political, economic, and social. So that's how I see it. Yes, we're going to show them what we want, but we're going to do that by living and existing, right? That's why these celebrities, I said this on Wednesday, they're not aliens. They come from our communities and our institutions. But those institutions are always being shaped by capitalism. So how is a singer who comes out of the choir in the social gospel liberation theology era going to look compared to a singer who comes out in the mega church, Eddie Long, celebrity pastor, TD Jakes era, TD Snakes era, right? So all I see is that. I just see capitalism has gone at war like it does with all of our institutions. And that's just going to shape how it is. We talked about, I really enjoyed the conversation on Wednesday, but we talked about my first Black superhero movies growing up, which were Meteor Man and Up, Up and Away. Both of those movies, love them movies, right? But others will be Black Panther and things like that, right? And why is that? Because capitalists recognize that that is something that we wanted to see. We wanted our own art. We wanted to have our own creation. Robert Townsend did it counterculture, but that just means that that's an opportunity. So are you saying like it's Robert Townsend's fault that the enemy realized that Black people are going to enjoy a well-written superhero for us? No, I mean, that's just him being a creative person. But naturally, that's what they're going to do. Oh, y'all like this shit? Because our enemy studies us, as my brother in the circle always says. So that's how I see it. I think it's too victim blamey to be like, yeah, we're giving them the secrets away. Like, you know, some people don't even know they're in a war. That's how propaganda works. So I say all those things to say that's actually really tied to the story I wanted to get into around lottery ticket. This question around what makes Black art. I talk about this with The Wire a lot, where Black performance can elevate, sharpen art, even if it's not our art that we're in control of. And so I get into that a lot. Like people will see an amazing performance by a Black person and be like, yo, but clearly this is Black art, right? I'm like, but who's funding it? Who's controlling the script? All those questions we talk about with political economy. But I wanted to give an example here and how that kind of works. And shout out Robert Townsend again. And shout out FD's video on Tyler Perry, because that's what was making it fresh in my mind. But he talks
Why
about
the video keep getting taken down?
because you know why.
I'm so serious.
man.
I'm actually for real.
No. Well, he gets a lot of copyright. It's the same way we get repressed on YouTube. He gets a lot of copyright issues. Sometimes it's actual content issues. YouTube doesn't want to monetize certain types of videos. Certain ways of being engaged aren't good. It's a lot of things. He usually goes over it. He's not all like this pure repression. The CIA doesn't want him to drop the video, but there are a lot of hoops that creators have to jump through, especially if they want to provide a critical analysis of some of these people. So that's what I understand is why. But this movie, Lottery Ticket, is 2010. Kevin Carson, Bow Wow, an ordinary guy living in the projects, wins a $370 million lottery. Unfortunately, the claim office is closed for a long holiday weekend, and he must keep his good fortune a secret, but the news spreads like wildfire, and Kevin must figure out how to survive 3 days among the friends, family, and neighbors who want a piece of the pie. So this is that typical kind of what I always say, don't punch down, punch up. But it's that typical kind of punch down comedy, right? Where obviously they're going to be making fun of people who live in the projects. Mm-hmm. And even though we might say it as somewhat authentic to our experience, we just got to remember that's the goal. And so this is a scene in the movie that Brandon T. Jackson, the actor, is talking about, where him and Bow Wow get into an argument after losing the ticket. And he says he improvised it. So check this out.
Prop, by the way.
What?
Yeah, it was no script on that. None. Every line was improv. It's improv. The whole lottery ticket scene was all improv. I improv the whole thing.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, play that shit over because I don't remember it.
I never heard that. That's shocking as hell.
He's gonna talk about it.
So
I made that up.
So Bow Wow, he was just
he improv it too.
Both of you guys just did your thing.
We improv it. We literally sat up there for about 2-3 hours.
One improv, both would have to improv.
So what did Ice Cube say at the end of the day?
Get you, please.
I remember coming up to me at the premiere, was like, "Yo, man, you can act. You got chops." I was like, I was just mad, to be honest. I was just mad at a bunch of stuff. I was mad at like it was a little subtext of being like, you know, why am I? When I look back, that was a real moment. When I look back in the hood and I saw the hood, I'm like, we up here shooting movies and shit, and they over there struggling. I actually felt that. You could see the moment where I look back and I go,
right.
You know, that was a real moment. I really felt like, why the fuck are we making movies, making millions of dollars where my people are struggling? It's kind of a Moses moment of like, you know, intensity, seeing like, damn, why are they struggling? And we making these movies. And I kind of like said, all that's improv. I'm sick of these wit cards. I'm sick of it. That's all. That was all improv.
Crazy.
All improv.
Can we play that?
Exactly. Yep,
that was all improv, by the way.
Yeah, that's the scene. I did enjoy the movie. That's the point. You know, I enjoy role balance. It's still kind of problematic, but I enjoy it. You know, that's just how it goes. That's the representation trap that we fall into. Vernon philosophy, all that. Got to be critical, but we enjoy it. All right, let's see the roost scene. Let's see how long this one is. All right, we'll try it. Let's see. We might get the copyright. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We might get the copyright.
Never
we'll
mind.
see, though.
Never
No,
mind.
I don't know. We'll see. We can see. Because we talking over it.
Look, I don't see Lorenzo and his boys, so it looks like you safe to go home now.
Safe? Yeah. You really think we safe? Huh?
Kevin, look, all you gotta do is get the next day and a half, and we good.
And then what?
Then you get your money.
Is this what having money feels like? Huh? Everybody asking me for something. People I ain't talked to in years, calling my phone. I don't want it, man. I heard a quote once.
All right, let's cut it off.
It changes the people around you. You understand that?
Let's wrap it up.
Come on,
It changes the people around.
Quote now. We quote now. I got this quote. People gonna be people. They gonna lie, they gonna cheat, they gonna steal. As long as you get yours, you keep it moving. So let's go home.
It's not that easy, dude.
It's not as long as you get yours.
I changed the audio up. Good call.
Pause it.
Okay, how about this? Let me hold on to
Somebody
it.
said pause it.
You holding on what?
Pause it. Why?
Yes. They said pause it every 6 seconds and 7 seconds and they want to get flagged.
Okay, cool. Well, we also sped it up, so the audio might be okay now. Let's see.
That case, Lorenzo catches you, you won't get
And we
jacked.
talking over it.
I don't think that
You
makes
too.
a difference.
Yeah.
After what I just said to you, and you hit me with this bullshit?
Kevin ain't even like that.
What you mean, come on, Kevin, ain't like that? It is like that.
Ain't like that.
It is.
You're losing it, man.
You got the wrong one, man.
You serious?
I'm dead ass serious.
Man.
I've been your best friend since 5th grade. Act like it. 5th grade. Act like it.
Ain't no way I'm gonna let this money compromise our friendship. You can have it. You can have this shit, Kev. You can have the whole thing. I don't want it. I don't want none of this. What you got? I'm up here losing my damn mind, running up and down the streets. For us, Kev. Ain't no us shit. It is us, Kev. Ain't no us. It is us. Ain't no us. It's everybody
What
over
you
there.
talking about?
It's everybody.
You ain't in my shoes, so you don't know what it feels
Kev,
like.
look at this. Look at this. Look at us. Kev,
I'm not looking over
look
there,
at our
man.
circumstances, man. Look where we from. I'm tired of this, man. I'm sick of worrying about whip cars. I'm sick of worrying about the government. I can't eat.
Pause it.
I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. And you got the power to change that, Kev. Nobody else.
Josh.
No, that's over. That's the scene. We don't need to keep doing
Yeah,
the
but
pause
they
and all
ain't,
that.
he said that was a hood. Now
I don't know where they were at. I think they were
Yeah.
actually in projects shooting the thing, because that's the whole thing about these shows is they actually do go to these neighborhoods to get the realistic thing. Although now they have sets and factories and Tyler Perry can set it up for you. But they actually were in these neighborhoods. That was John Singleton's whole thing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually went to some projects and shot this. I mean, let's look it up. Where was it?
And I mean, they look like. I mean, I'm just saying those would look kind of manicured over there. But yeah, I get it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know where, because some people be saying that LA hoods look nice compared to
I
other
done
people.
seen some shit. I don't know, bro. But that look could have manicured over there. But let's go.
Yeah, no, it didn't look that bad, but yeah, so that was my point with this film. So it's Ice Cube. So there's a little bit again. Is this like us? Is this our kind of art? So it's Ice Cube who's working on it, but and the director's black. It's Eric White. So we got a black director. We got black performers. We got Ice Cube behind it to some degree. So this question becomes: is this a black film? In a lot of ways, I guess the answer is yes, but then in quite a few ways, the answer is no. And so that's my whole point about our performances can be used to just make something more realistic. So he's actually in these neighborhoods watching this shit happen, and he's getting frustrated because he literally just came from that. That's my whole point about we're not aliens. He talked about a wick card. He knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about. And he just came from that, and he's still here. Like, he can't be in more than his early 20s in this film. And now he's like shooting these things, kind of making fun of the experience that he's not very far away from. And so I think it was really cool to hear him kind of have that realization about this art, this so-called black art. But yeah, that's all I had on that one. I think it fit perfectly from the previous thing with Spike Lee and how he functions. What is Brandon T. Jackson up to now? I'm not sure. This is something someone else said. Bow Wow's a talented actor. Yeah, a lot of talented actors and creators don't get as many roles in Hollywood. But
I don't know. Huh? What do you mean he talented? What he do?
He did. I'm trying to think of his films that I enjoy. I enjoy Romance, Lottery Ticket was
Robots. I
whatever.
don't remember nothing that I've like walked
He
away.
was in. I mean, like I was gonna say, like Mike. It's more of a childhood thing. I think we have. I'm trying to remember. He was in Tokyo Drift.
He was really bad in all.
One of the worst movies I think I've ever seen. Fast 3 Tokyo Drift. So yeah, not the most elite resume.
Niggas is not beating his door down to get the script. I don't know.
Leah, why you in my business? I'm just playing. We can't figure out how to change it, so I gave up.
Change what? What are you talking about, Amber?
The profile
Why
when
is
we go
Amber
off camera.
seeing a picture of her name? We can't figure out how to change it, so I gave up.
I figured it out. I've just been too lazy. But I'll get to that eventually. All right. Let's see. What other stories we got today? There was definitely one about the AI tracking barista efficiency that Geechee was referring to earlier that we can get into. This looks crazy. This looks crazy. All right, so let's check out this story.
Yeah, that other video too. So either that video, either AI video, which is short, and then that's that conversation that you showed us.
Which conversation?
The round table with the old Pinky from Friday. He was arguing with the young people.
You got to pull that one up. I don't know if I remember.
It's on the run sheet. The first.
It's the sister song thing.
Oh, it's the older people.
Yeah, but yeah, we could do that after
Gotcha.
the AI.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Okay, so this coffee shop uses AI to track the productivity of baristas and how much time customers are spending in the shop. The NeuroSpot barista staff control and customer monitoring video analytics module are tools designed to enhance the efficiency. Okay, let's see what this looks like.
That shit is funny, bro.
This is wow. Okay, Anna 20 cups, Vika 10 cups, Elena 10 cups. How long each person has been there?
Somebody back there got 3 cups. Olga.
Yeah, someone hiding.
Olga ain't doing shit.
No, Olga might be cleaning up a broken machine, but who knows with the AI tech? It just says 3 cups, no context.
Bro, I'm telling you, my joint will have -4 cups on that motherfucker. No, I'm taking all the cups at work. I'm drinking on the job.
These lines are interesting, tracing their movements. It's a little strange. They track you as a customer as well. So yeah, again, Geechee, like I'm saying, like we can't be blaming individuals participating in society, man. They're tracking how long I sit down, how long I look at my phone and take a sip. So yes, they're going to get information on us, but that's just because we do not control the means of production, the institutions of society. So no, I can't really account for the fact that I walk into a coffee shop to read an email and they're tracking where I sit and for how long. That's just, it's crazy. So I think it just goes on like this. I don't think the video does much more, but you can just see some of the basics. It tracks movements with these kind of squiggly lines of different colors. It tracks how many cups an employee has produced. I'm not exactly sure the method for that. And then it tracks how long people are staying.
So when you see the people, right, there's these little lines on them. So the dude with the red beanie, he got that green line on his back. The girl for hour 15, she got that little, like, I wonder what them lines are.
It looks like those are boxes identifying a full person. So
no, not the box inside it, like so look inside the box.
Oh, these, yeah, I see what you're saying. The squiggles.
Yeah,
I think it's motion tracking. Yeah, motion tracking. Because it's on the baristas as well. And whenever they go to move, see how she's moving, and it's following her on the right of the screen. This is terrifying stuff. But back to what we've been saying with everything recently. I mean, this is all precedented in Black and Native history. So it's exactly what they did on plantations. Not the same in terms of now it's automated and it's tech surveillance, but this is capitalism 101. You surveil the workers. It's happening in factories as well. It's happening with Amazon where we talk about them. So it's just another form of surveillance, but it does look very, Born Identity kind of spy movie type of surveillance. So that's a little unsettling.
Sending people to get information and come back and give it to you.
Yeah. But it always does. I mean, there are contradictions, right? Because you're producing an insane amount of data physically. You have to store this data. This becomes a contradiction of capitalism as well. Why it's destroying the planet? So you have to find a place to store this data. You need servers. You also need still labor, manual labor. AI can only push the rock so far up the hill, right? Because then somebody's got to watch this footage, and then somebody's got to do the investigation, and then somebody's got to make the call and say da 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 da. Yeah, why are you only making 4 cups? And so it still becomes incumbent on you to surveil the people. It's a prisoner's dilemma. Like the jail, I might use that wrong, but the prisoners and the guard are constantly in relationship with each other.
Yeah, that was in the Andor, when they had that high tech prison.
Yeah, One Way Out.
That shit crazy.
Shout out to all the critiques in Samantha, and shout out Burning Philosophy, all those things. But yes, that was a pretty radical message for a Disney product. All right. Was the Lottery movie, I'm interested, I don't know about this art. Was the Lottery based on channeling Sanbei Osamu's The Lottery 1968? That name is familiar. Did that person make a movie about like a maid, I believe? I believe I watched a movie like that. If so, I wonder whether Osmane's, probably pronouncing that wrong, Osmane's perspective brought a politics that white man's film did not. Yeah, that would be interesting, actually. Again, to the degree that this is Black art versus a Black product that white people have created and sold, I would wonder about that. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if the author I know Ice Cube produced it, but I don't know if the director and screenwriter knew about that. So. All right. Yeah, that was precedented, but still pretty gross. All right, so is this what y'all were talking about? Clifton Powell goes off after a young man claims old people only take accountability when they're old and it's already too late. That's the one. Okay. This is an interesting kind of combo. We jump to topics. I like this. Okay.
It's crazy.
Generational struggle, generation wars. There's gender wars and generation wars. There's all these ways of sowing division and not actually having conversations about power dynamics and identity. So let's see.
Power dynamics.
And Luke, make sure I say the name right. Pop this part out. Okay. What Luke brought up was like accountability. Like, yes, we can talk about, what our families did to us, all this, all that, but eventually, and I know why people try and say this, and I really don't like that, but eventually comes a point where you have to decide, how do I want to live my life? I haven't talked to my daddy in 6 years. I don't give a fuck about what my family has gone through. I know where I will go. So it's like, you can only say that for so long. Black women are tired, and, kind of like putting onto them like, hey, like, you didn't do this entirely, because everybody in here, several people have talked about, like, going to counseling. Have that upon yourself. Stop waiting for a woman to tell you what you need to do. Take that upon yourself.
Let me address that real quickly. For me, I didn't know fucking how to
Can I say one more thing? No, I have to say this, because another thing that happens is, too, you live your life for so long, and I'm not meaning no disrespect by this.
All right, just say it, bro.
But when you hit your 60s and your 70s, I want to be right.
Okay, but
I want to live my life right. I want someone to take care of me and protect me, and that's what a lot of women have issues with.
I'm living it right the fuck now.
As I said, I said 60s and 70s.
Let me say this.
Y'all over talking.
I'm gonna fucking over talk you because you're talking out
but you're not gonna disrespect.
You don't know what the fuck.
Oh, I am. I do.
Love it.
I do.
You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Oh, I do.
You can't.
I do.
Know it, nigga.
I do.
Look at Monica coming up. Monica trying to stop it. Nah, girl. Let him argue.
I'm living. You can't tell me what the fuck I'm living, nigga. I'm living it right now. You cannot fix no shit that you don't even know what's happening.
I think there's a misunderstanding.
No, but he's generalized. You can't. Listen, bro. Let me stop. This is what it is. Let's get to the truth of this shit. You can't fix no shit unless you meet somebody who is on another level to help you elevate to understand. I'm not indicting anybody. I'm telling you what the shit is. You can't fix some shit that you don't know about, bro.
Yeah.
You can't. And then you get there at 69 or 70 and say, I thought I was being loving all this time. That's what our parents have gone through, and that's why we all so fucked up right now.
You asked, how do we love Black women?
Yeah.
That's right here. Trust Black women and listen to Black women because they know more than we do what it is that they need.
I don't think that's true either. There's a lot of Black women who don't know how to love.
I'm not talking about what they know how to love. I'm saying what they need as far as
I get that.
We're talking about. That's what we're talking about right now. Also, if we're going to use our privilege and power as men in society, how do we show up and be accountable, like you said?
Okay.
Power as men.
Right. I see Consciously is there as well. Actually did have some takes that I enjoyed and agreed with.
Consciously was there.
Yeah, you see he's the brother with the locks in the corner left.
I mean, I knew I didn't even, I just now saw somebody had locks. I didn't even see it.
He was sitting over there. He was talking about he talked about patriarchy. I mean, he kind of did similar to the guy that we were just watching, and like holding them accountable to some of the stuff they were saying, because a lot of them were saying like, they didn't really love people well, or didn't really do the right things in love until they became a. He was just saying that, like, being a father shouldn't be the thing that makes you treat women better. Like that's patriarchy. And I was like, well, yeah, because he's like, because if you don't have a daughter, if you didn't become a father, you was gonna stay the same person.
Yeah, but I mean, I think every year you grow, you're gonna be treating people better. So like sometimes things. So if you let's say it's 100, if you go from 10, 15, 20, 30, you go all the way to 100, you're always gonna be treating people better. So it's like, and then
it depends. I mean,
your interaction with other people gonna help you treat people better, right? So when you learn,
well, you're saying if you're growing,
it
though,
wasn't helping Cliff Powell treat people better.
That's what I was gonna say. You're just assuming someone is growing in a positive direction, right? But we know that like people regress.
That nigga just said he didn't grow in a positive direction until he met a woman who told him what he was doing was wrong. And the fact that you had to meet a woman to tell you that actually says a lot about him. Which is what the guy was talking about.
That's the thing. First of all, this is shout out. I think Deculturation has an interview on Millennials with Killing Capitalism where he talks about his Jubilee episode. But go check that out, because there's a meta issue here, which is how these things are even set up in the first place compared to how we would do a circle, or how I think any other community institution might run this, where there's norm setting, there's a circle keeper or somebody to make sure the space is running the right way, not somebody who just comes in when the cameras get too hot. Like, hey. That's not.
Well, they did have norms. There's a whole. It's like 2-3 hours long.
I watched a little bit of it. So thank you for being fair to them. They did to a degree, but back to the meta commentary around how this is set up in the first place, who these people are, what are they even in the space to do, right? To dialogue, the art of dialogue. It's not like a political space. There's a lot of things that I would say go in a norm setting outside of the community agreements type thing. But that being said, once they get to this point, and this is okay, it's not saying that the circles don't have this, that might happen, but they're just not talking to each other anymore. They're talking past each other. And getting more and more upset. I'm not trying to equate the arguments, by the way. I don't seek to do that. I just seek to talk about the actual emotional somatic dynamic I'm seeing here, which is that this brother's saying, I was not conscious that this was an issue. Now we can critique what made him conscious, but everyone's made conscious by something, right? So you say, I'm not, and some people are, because of their indoctrination, are not able to be made conscious by something else. And that's another thing that really frustrates people, is like, look, someone, you might have the right message, but you're the wrong messenger. And that is because of this person's contradiction that has nothing to do with you, but you just have to acknowledge it. So I think there's that he's like, yo, I wasn't conscious of this and I'm being made conscious. And while I'm trying to do this, I'm now being told I did it wrong. But then the other conversation, which is the conversation that if you were to acknowledge his truth there, which is true, it makes sense, then holding that, you move into, but why did it take a woman for you to do this? The points that Conscious Lee was making in the first place. Why was it that you were not able to do these kinds of things? And if you're not reflecting on that, then you're just kind of, fetishizing therapy, which is what a lot of people do, and ignoring the labor that goes into it, and making it all about you and your personal healing journey and not about the community, people you've harmed in the past, that kind of thing. So that's how I'm seeing this. I hear both points. I just know that this Jubilee style, art of dialogue style thing is set up for these big explosive moments. So then you can get that little caption on Twitter and get 5,000 likes.
Yeah, I think that was the difficulty for me too. Like, cause I mean, I don't know. It sounds like y'all watched the whole video in a larger argument. So I don't really know about the larger argument, but like that little clip, I thought it was like just blanking.
It's not an argument. They're just having a conversation as men.
No, Amber, I'm talking about what I'm saying is they're having a conversation back and forth. They actually did start arguing. So, but I wasn't talking about argument. But there's a statement made that people wait till they get older to learn. So when I'm saying that argument, meaning the thing that they're arguing, the thing that's put forth. And what I'm saying,
you drop your head like this was so hard for you.
No, because you keep interrupting me and you don't like when I interrupt you. But that's why I dropped my head. But what I was hearing in the video was the unconscious bias, and like people's. So I was in a meeting where somebody had power and they were saying a bunch of things to everybody, and everybody can hear the contradiction, and they kept asking questions to prove the contradictions, and the person was not able to understand that they're in the contradictions. And there was another elder in the space, and they was like, these internalized assumptions, there's growth when you realize that the thing that you hear in your head could possibly be wrong. It might not be the way, right? Because whenever we do things, we say things, we rationalize it, we analyze it. And again, if somebody has power in a situation, now we're having a different conversation, because do you have some mechanisms around you to check power so that you don't fall victim to your unconscious bias that all of us have? And it's when you believe you don't have an unconscious bias is where the problem comes. So that's kind of things I was thinking about when I was seeing that video, because I don't know the background and all that stuff. I just heard somebody saying, you wait till this thing, and I'm like, well, as you said, Lord, you need a stimulant to highlight your contradiction, especially a stimulant that you trust, that you value, or whatever. And then that's when you can probably hear a thing, and you're gonna be having that experience until you fucking die. So that's kind of what. But again, I don't know all the other things that was happening in that conversation. Lord,
I'm muted. I need to be more clear, and I should have started with some context, because Amber, I saw the video, the full, but I actually wasn't aware of the context. So I actually just incorrectly attributed it to that Art of Dialogue page, but it's actually apparently part of something that I wouldn't maybe support. So the veteran actor recently joined a roundtable hosted by Sister Song Women of Color Reproductive Justice Collective and the Conscious League. So the Conscious League was someone who put this on, but it was part of something. So as I actually started off with the incorrect critique, saying that it wasn't grounded in a space for a particular reason. So if that's the case, then I actually appreciate this.
And so see, that's why I didn't really understand when he says listen to black women. I was like, I ain't even seen no black women at the table, so I didn't even know the context of that statement. So, but if Sister Song, Women of Color Reproductive Justice, put it on for black men to sit around a table with another black man who has not listened to black women, that's a context that you will be missing. That's a big context, actually, because I didn't really understand. I was like, what is this man talking about? Listen to black women. What did the black woman say? Because I don't even understand what was happening. So
yeah. I didn't know about the collective. I did know about the video. Amber, you spoke earlier about some of the norm setting they did. What is your thought about the way this is set up in the first place, with the round table and the panel? Because I know we both probably watched it, a good amount of it. So how are you feeling throughout the video? Do you feel like the topics were flowing well? Kind of what were your impressions? I'm curious.
I don't really have any comments about it.
Did you watch more than like the intro and the heated parts at all?
I did watch the intro. I watched the circle. I feel like y'all haven't watched it and you're doing research in real time. I don't really think it's helpful to offer commentary about it.
Sure, I did watch the video, but I did not know about the background. So I want to be clear on what I did and didn't do, because I know who these actors are. For example, I knew the P-Valley actor was involved, but no, I did not know enough about Sister Song to offer commentary on it. I can't offer commentary on the struggle in the conversation, which is what was going on with the clip. And yes, they do chop up the conversation and offer things, so definitely recommend watching the full point of the clip. But that dynamic there was building for quite some time. And yeah, it was kind of expected if you saw where they were going and how things were being framed in that combo, which was more my commentary about how everyone is framing it almost like it was accusatory. Also, the not speaking over me thing, that was what I was talking about with the moderation, where it got heated. But yeah, it is incorrect to compare it to Jubilee. Knowing that, I would have to know more about the Sister Song organization and things like that.
Yeah. So I didn't know that all of those people were actors. So that's another thing. And
they're not
so
all actors.
They're not all
James
actors. Some of them are.
Well,
Luke James is a
now,
singer.
said it. Well, I'm
James
sorry.
is a singer. Jay Fonz is an actor.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Luke
say.
James is an actor too, though. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
he is. But I didn't mean to say actor. And this goes back to the point where we talked about earlier, where I don't want to stop saying athlete, ball chaser, actor, and just go straight to entertainer. What I'm saying is all of those people are well-known entertainment in some type of way, and I didn't know that. For instance, the guy in the middle, that's Luke James. Consciously, the dude left. And even now I'm seeing the dude sitting next to Pinky. I keep calling him Pinky. I think I saw him on TV, and then definitely the other dude. But basically, Sister Song came to have celebrities have a conversation about a thing. And there was a protagonist, I guess, and that was the older dude. And what did the older dude do? Like, he did something, and that's why they chose him to have the conversation with younger celebrities and activists or whatever. Is that what was happening?
No. Okay. So one, I don't know what article you pulled up, Lorik, but Consciously did not host the event. Sister Song hosted the event with Bold Power, which is Kendrick Sampson's org, not Consciously. And Kendrick Sampson's org, Bold Power, and Sister Song put on the event for Black men to talk about reproductive justice. I think that if we want to go back another week and talk about it, we can. I feel like there's been a lot of like misinformation, snarky comments, other stuff that have kind of made it hard for me to want to talk about this in good faith because of my history in reproductive justice, and it's kind of irritating me. But I will say that the conversation actually is really good if folks want to listen to it. It's not based off of Clifton Powell. It's based off of folks talking about reproductive justice and how important it is for men to protect Black women and stand up for women and their role in the reproductive justice fight, which is the goal of Sister Song and what Sister Song has been doing for years.
Thank you for that. We can move on from this story. The link I pulled up was from Black Enterprise, but if it's incorrect, we can find another one and put it in the run sheet document, and then we can revisit this.
I would never use Black
next week.
Enterprise as a source. I'm not gonna hold you.
Well, I was on Sister Song's website, so I did want to do, and like you said, there is some real-time research being done. And I also want to highlight one more time from Reef. I watched the entire video. My context that I was missing was who was hosting the video. So I just want to be very clear here. That's why I began by giving Consciously some of his flowers for the analysis. But we can come back to this in future week. This is where this was, the Black Men Roundtable, hosted by Sister Song. So I'll just put the actual website itself so that we can work through there in the future. And we can build that way. But
yeah, and I don't think I remember, like all I saw was the run sheet says older people only take accountability when they're old, and it's already too late. And I clicked the link and then watched the video, and I didn't know any of that context at all.
Well, that's Amber's point. So we definitely need to be more thorough if we're going to critique in that way. And moving on to our next story before we start closing out, we have this piece from Hotspot where AOC is repeating CIA propaganda, something we are pretty familiar with at this point. So AOC calls Maduro an anti-democratic leader who canceled the elections. That was the first thing. I don't know why the reader context is Venezuela is entirely north of the equator. Maybe that was
Can
a
you play
small
the
point.
audio?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. Okay.
It is not a remark on who Maduro was as a leader. He canceled elections. He was an anti-democratic leader. That doesn't mean that we can kidnap a head of state and engage in acts of war just because the nation is below the equator. And it is not a remark on who Maduro.
Well, that's why they said it's north of the equator.
Now I get it. Okay, so that was the original context. And then AOC criticizes President Trump's actions in Venezuela because he left Maduro's regime intact.
And by the way, Rubio and the Trump administration left Maduro's regime intact. And so even whatever moralizing they have about it, they're just as much a culprit in ignoring the election results as anybody else. But also, you know, we have to understand that when they come for one, they come for us all. And by the way,
Okay. Yeah, that.
There we go with those clips and context again. I mean, the 29 seconds. What's happening? That was pretty.
It looked like it was at a TED Talk. And yeah, we're definitely gonna need more information on it. But I think enough can be just said from it's calling Maduro's regime something that needs to be left in that wasn't destroyed. That was the main gist of what I got from that. But I'll definitely pull up more information on why she was saying that in the first place. But we can start with her talking about canceling elections and that anti-democratic thing, if y'all have any information on that you wanted to share.
You said talk about her
saying that the Venezuela elections were anti-democratic.
And then he canceled them.
And then he canceled elections, that Maduro's a dictator. That's the line that she's spinning as a progressive Democrat.
Yeah, I guess I'm like merging in the conversation. So we last night we had a event on Morehouse campus with some students, YDSA, and they were kind of talking about Burkina and Sahel, and they was talking about Traore canceled something about political parties. And then, you know, people started saying like, oh, you know, the China and debt traps and all this other stuff. And why would they write with the Wagner Group and all this other stuff? And like one of the questions I asked, like if I asked first if everybody understand like the multipolar world, and people's like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, if you're not a world power and you are being dominated by the biggest world power, and there's other world powers who are competing with them or they can't dominate, to get out of that situation, you might have to have some type of conversation or interaction with somebody else. And so the logic of like when you hear things like, oh, they canceled an election, cancel political parties or whatever, it's like, what are you going to do if you're trying to win the fight for ideas and you're taking over particular apparatuses? What will you make legal? What will be illegal? What, you know what I'm saying? Because you're still kind of operating out of U.S. concepts of democracy, like you would be just analyzing the world from a U.S. lens. So I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking of when I hear this, because it sounds like the conversation I was having last night, but I don't know if I'm just merging it in my head.
I'm interested in the background on this because, again, I knew there was the Munich Security Conference. Marco Rubio had a very white supremacist address there, but this was, from my understanding, a comparison of how two sides of the same coin type thing, the fox and the wolf. I know someone was mentioning like our research process. Again, we hear that critique, definitely going to take it. But there's also the fact that like when you try to get information, just for the sake of information gathering, these are the kind of places where you're getting that information from. So we have to sort through it. We have to be responsible. We have to go to our own sources and things and get that. But this is what they focus on. It's very much like Obama in the tan suit. So when you go to look for news about this piece, AOC makes elementary geography mistake as she slams trunk. And that's what I was saying before as well, which is like, okay, why are they saying, like, why does the community know this and not the lie, the major lie, which is that Maduro is an anti-democratic leader who canceled elections, right? So this is what they choose to focus on specifically. Even when you get the story, it's not entirely the story. So AOC makes elementary geography mistake as she slams trunk. Of course, it's the Daily Mail. We know it's a rag. Democratic Congresswoman AOC has been mocked after she mistakenly claimed Venezuela lies south of the equator. So again, framing, that's not why she's being mocked right now. But she was at the capture of Nicolas Maduro's event. What's interesting is they have her listed as 2028 presidential hopeful. So that might be influencing some of this posturing and rhetoric, though she's been kind of on this trajectory for a while. Maduro canceled elections. He was an anti-democratic leader. Doesn't mean that we can kidnap a head of state and engage in acts of war because the nation is below the equator. So that is funny. Again, they mix in the truth with the lies, causes a lot of confusion, and ultimately allows them to just move in the same way they were moving before. So the only way this has been reported is critiques from like MAGA folks, MAGA social media accounts, things like that. But
did the Daily Mail say anything about the prince being arrested?
did they? Oh, that's a good question. Well, we're on their website already, so let's see. Or I could just search it that way. Prince Andrew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how they frame it. The royal mugshot, how Andrew was treated like a common criminal. All these ads, goddamn. After his arrest, as he was photographed, fingerprinted, and had DNA swabs taken during 12 hours in custody.
DNA swabs.
Okay. Arrested former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor faced having a mugshot and his fingerprints taken. Ooh. During 12 hours of police questioning, the former Duke of York would have been treated like a common criminal as he was taken into custody on Thursday before being released last night. Photographs, fingerprints, and DNA swabs would likely have to be taken according to the government guidance, while the ex-prince will be offered a cup of tea and one phone call. A government website page explaining arrest procedure states that police have the right to take photographs of you, take fingerprints, take a DNA sample, such as a mouth swab or head hair root. So it's crazy that people would be learning about this through the prince getting arrested.
Wait, go zoom up to it. Is that go up to his face? Let me see.
Oh, down here?
Don't they got a picture of his granddaddy dying old, like looking like that? He looked exactly
just like that. Yeah.
That shit crazy as hell. Like that nigga look just like, oh my gosh.
Okay. That's really disturbing, yeah. That's yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna try to find that picture. Where's that old picture? What was his name, Amber? His granddaddy.
Shit, I don't know. I don't know the royals like that.
I don't
the one who died.
Charles?
Google, yes. Maybe.
Yeah.
Google royal that died.
That's honestly the fastest way to go about it.
Royal that died.
Yeah.
But that is exactly how he lived.
Philip is what someone said. Prince Philip, is that who it is?
Oh, try that. Try Prince Philip dying.
Yeah, Philip. Yeah, there you go. That's
Philip passed. My question again with these articles in the Daily Mail. So, what did he do? Nowhere in that article where it discussed how he's being treated. It doesn't say what he did.
Even in the other articles I read, it said something about corruption or something, but it doesn't tell you the charges.
Yep, which is crazy because when we get charges, when common criminals get charges, they tell you exactly what it did, how many counts, what the judge is gonna do, what she was wearing. But we get nothing, just that he's being DNA swabbed and fingerprinted like a common criminal and given tea in a phone call. That's funny.
Don't he look like that's his granddaddy or no? Who that is?
Yeah, it's Prince Philip.
Yep, that's him.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Oh man, he ain't dead. He's king.
He ain't dead. He's king now.
Uh-oh.
Isn't that his brother?
Charles is his brother, huh?
We need one of those. One of those flow charts like Game of Thrones.
It's too
Bro.
much.
What's the
much.
What is the royal family tree? I don't know. I also don't know all their powers. If I'm being honest, I just know colonizer. The usual.
We acting surprised because we don't know. I don't pay attention to these.
I legit don't know.
Who's acting surprised? Like like, is that something we supposed to know? As I don't fucking understand.
I mean, I understand study your enemy, so like to some degree I get it, but not like
which enemy? All of them? Every part of
them? said yes. Philip is King Charles's brother.
I found it, guys. I found it. Okay. All right.
I don't even know this shit. Like, let me
wait. Is this? I don't even know if this is correct. See, there's so many. That's the thing. They're not creative. They're the same name. It's like 50 Phillips, 50 Georges, 50 Elizabeth. So I don't know who's who. This is Elizabeth of Prussia, Victoria, Alice. Hold on. All right, we're gonna do some homework.
Now wait. And this is the family of the
But
What's
this
the
is
lady
only
name?
Prince Philip's family tree. This is not the full royal family. So
Yeah.
Prince Philip was the one that we just saw the picture of that looked
But we
big.
were looking
My
for
question is, how are
Andrew,
they
right?
connected to Diana? Is it Diana?
Uh,
The one who was famous and died.
Yes.
yeah, Diana. I don't know.
How they connect? That's her
She's
family.
not connected. She's related by marriage.
Oh Jesus.
Yes, I was about
Yeah.
to say we wasted.
Lori,
no one
Andrew is
cares.
right next to Philip, right there where it says Prince Philip of Denmark and Greece.
That was him in the old black and white garb and all that. Oh wow.
Philip and Charles. Philip was Charles and Andrew's daddy.
Yeah, I think our audience knows. We know who they are. Exactly. We know who they are in terms of function. I see Ear Doctor behind the scenes.
What up, Remix crew? How y'all doing?
We chilling.
What's up? What's up?
Ain't nothing. I just came to let y'all know I was doing a pop-up at 10:30, so you make sure y'all tune back in 10:30 and get ready for a lunchtime mix. Just came through to say what up. What's good?
10:30 Eastern.
Yep, 10:30
That's
Eastern.
Oh, you came to tell us to get off on time.
Oh, no, not at all. Continue to 10:29.
What's the vibe?
What's
today?
the vibe? The vibe today
Yeah.
is just come and find out. That's what it is.
Okay, word.
Y'all gonna have to come find out. But yeah, good show, y'all. I'll catch y'all later at 10:30.
Sir.
That's cool.
Thanks for coming through. Okay, that's producer telling us we got to wrap up. So, all right. Next week there's definitely some more we can do. We probably got to get back to our reading of the book that Amber likes to remind us that we haven't gotten yet. But I have it online, our Beneath the Mountain Prison Reader, so we can
I don't
definitely get
think
back
we should
into
be
that.
talking about the book until I have a physical copy.
I can't say nothing because I owe you physical copies too.
I'm gonna send it out tomorrow, Amber. I promise.
Someone said it's 29 minutes left. Nah, I don't know if we got the overtime, but we always do go a little bit over. We're in our overtime now. But yeah, we should definitely get back into our Beneath the Mountain Prison Reader. I will take the critique today and absolutely do my research more on stories like this, especially if I raise a critique and don't want to have unprincipled critiques of people doing great work. So we can revisit that after I've done some research. And yeah, what we got coming up this week? What you doing, Geechee?
I don't know. Oh, I probably just got a few meetings, but nothing other than trying to rest. I didn't rest last weekend, so I'm gonna rest this weekend.
What you do for Valentine's Day?
Nothing. What I'm supposed to do for Valentine's Day?
Here we go.
I don't know. Whatever you want. It's your prerogative. I was having my way.
Oh Lord, I want to. No.
I didn't say anything.
You said having your way. That don't sound like it.
Sounds great.
Jesus.
So I was sick, so I didn't do nothing either. I was coughing.
Tell us,
you send a cash app or nothing?
Of course. But come on, Amber.
I don't know shit.
I was home trained. I was, I know what I'm doing. Send some flowers, some fruit.
Flowers. I told a nigga don't send me no flowers. I don't like them.
I was told to send flowers, so I do what I'm told.
At least you follow instruction. I feel like it's either one or the other. Either the person follows instructions and it's annoying as fuck, or they follow instructions and the person's so happy. Because this nigga definitely followed instructions from like a previous time when he asked me about something, and I was like, why'd you give me this shit? But it's cool. It's all right.
It's because I was about to say the people who like the instructions are the ones who give instructions they mean. Because if you give somebody some instructions you don't really mean, and they like me, they're gonna listen, they're gonna follow it, and it's gonna be like, what happened? So I can't read minds, man. I'm too simple.
Your mind. See that's why Bruce Willis in What Women Want. He took that. He got
that was his power. He could read minds.
Yeah. I really wish he would hug me. Hey, how you doing today? It's like
that's a dangerous power to have.
I don't even think that's necessary because I be telling people exactly what I want, and they be doing it, but I be annoyed sometimes, and I change my mind.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, in my defense, I didn't tell the person that I wanted anything for Valentine's Day. They just got me a gift. So that was nice.
Oh,
I just,
oh man. I mean, hey man, that's what I'm saying. You can't if you ask for it, you can't be mad. I don't be asking for shit I don't want.
I didn't ask for it. It was an old list from the previous year.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
same
Word.
before, but it's fine.
Nice to be thought about it all,
I'm always
Nice
thought
to
about.
Damn.
Mhm. Hey, see, that's what I'm saying. For people like me, it's good for my self-esteem.
Pretty much said that she used to work at Victoria's Secrets and came to view it as really slimy holiday for all the businessmen who come in and brought 2 sides, ship one to his wife and go back for and go back for the girlfriend.
That's yeah. I mean, I buy it 100%. That's in movies even. That's like a Hollywood trope where a rich man
Mhm.
goes and, oh, you're buying lingerie for your mistress, like it's for your wife. It's very old school kind of patriarchy right there. Is
Leah
Victoria's
said
Secret
that's
still a
not
thing?
fair, Amber. Leah, life isn't fair.
That's one of the first things my dad ever told me.
And men deserve nothing. So
He didn't add that part, but
it was mine. That
fair,
was my addition.
fair,
Men
fair.
deserve nothing. I'm kidding. I'm
Uh,
kidding. I don't fully believe that. I did see a great thread this week that said women who hate men make the best partners. And I just think that's true. Because the niggas who date me will never know I can't stand niggas.
Best
But
partners for who?
yeah, I was confused about that.
In relationships.
But best
for
partners for
who?
men or for women? Yeah, that's
For
what I was like.
men. For men.
Oh,
Women who
as a
hate
man, you should date a woman who
men.
hates
Hate men.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard this sentiment before.
Because then you know that if you're dating a woman who really doesn't like men like that, then she actually likes you.
Huh?
Yeah, I've heard
Because
this.
I
I've
really
heard this
don't like
argument.
men.
Or you could be her test dummy to let me see, but she ain't gonna really invest. What?
No, I get
I have
I
one
get
like
what
that
it's
right
being
now,
said.
but the
Like
other one I do like.
The
normally
issue
I
with
don't
me
do
is
this. Normally I don't do this, but you're gonna be the exception. That's gonna be the worst relationship in your life, man. What the fuck is you talking about?
I have never said that. I also will say, I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to say none of this stuff. That nigga know I'm mean to men, but I'm not mean to him. And that's what matters. That's what matters.
not girl math. Okay.
Yeah, that might be comes
That's
up on me like I'm the
chaotic.
sweetest thing in the world. Hate niggas.
Oh man.
Well, I be talking shit on people's TikTok comments.
Dating advice on the internet is wild.
It is. And then the fact
Niggas, you
is, I
don't
low-key
know them. You don't know their history. You don't know how they've been in a relationship, but you listen to somebody on the damn internet.
This but this is the thing. I follow Amber's logic. I just, as a man, I can't embrace that logic. I do think it's a fun kind of thought process women go through. For me, it becomes a little too not all men. Because I am those are my brothers, unfortunately and fortunately.
That's
So
the point, Zinzi. That's the point. You shouldn't listen to anybody on it. That's you. Thank you. That's the point.
no, you should listen. I mean, you should
Stop listening
judge
to
for
me.
yourself.
Go do
Judge
something
for
else.
yourself. Analyze with your own experience compared to your peers.
Go through a
But you
process.
can listen to us. I give good advice.
Amber, you're the ancestor's dream. Thank you, Shirley. My dad often tells me that I'm a ball buster, and he's right. But I've never done that to the ones I like. They've never seen that side of me. So, hey.
I try my best not to listen to you. Can't remember some bullhook saying, well, she's funny because she has some of those moments where she's like, in terms of romance, I ain't dealing with men. But she also, yes, explains Black feminism is about community, transforming Black men, all of those things. So we always point that out. It is good fun to say these kinds of things. Should a woman dates a man who hates women? Yes, we already know it doesn't go in reverse, guys. There's no reverse racism.
It might go in reverse. You never know.
Should a woman date a man who hates women? Yes, they do all the time, though. That's the default. That's the society we live in. I don't know what that means.
Which is why they need to date each other. You need both of them have to have that same ideology. And then you see how it crosses. How does that go? How does that work for you?
What did you say?
I only date lover boys, but other people do shit like that.
That sounds like the most toxic relationship.
It's not toxic
Imagine
at all.
a man who hates women with a woman who hates men.
Oh,
And then
that
again,
yes.
yes,
Yes,
that's
it is. You know, actually,
terrible.
that would be a great TV show.
No power
They
dynamic
said
involved.
the Amber hating men makes sense when you consider how the identity of men is performed. I actually think that's a good point.
Of course.
Because when I think about the men that I actually do date that I take seriously, they're not hyper masculine at all. Like they're very in the middle, funny, kind of metrosexualist sometimes. I got a few like that. I just don't really, I'm not into the very like super macho type of guy, other than, just doing it to fuck with them. Because I kind of do like to date those types just for the hell of it sometimes to see how it goes. And then they realize that I'm the big dog. And then they be like, okay, I can't do this.
You want a big dog. Geeky, fix your face.
I'm just trying to follow.
What are you trying to follow? What's not catching?
So they're no, that's it.
Someone said you taking the pink pill and the red pill together. That's crazy.
I disagree with this person. Amber's a menace.
I'm not a menace.
Shit, you literally just described menace shit.
Menace to society.
I'm just living life.
That's exactly.
I mean, in my defense, I actually have not done that. Back in my 20s, I was actually doing a lot of shit. I actually haven't done that in like 3-4 years because I've been really saving my energy.
That's good.
So I was like, why would I date somebody just to, one up them, big dog them?
Yeah.
I could do that, but I don't want to spend the energy doing that. So I really have only been dating people I really would date. But those people that I'm dating are nothing like me.
I see you growing.
We call that growth.
I see you growing. Look at that growth. Low and growth.
Every day. All right. I know we closing out. I do like what Dre's pointing out about the performance of being a man or a woman and all of those things. It is a performance. And we want to be clear on who's making the rules, who's buying the puppet factory, as we said earlier.
The rules don't exist. The rules are made up. I'm making all this shit up every day.
Yeah, you even tell people you want something and then
I've been slowly practicing being more and more vulnerable and tender every week with my therapist, with the niggas that I'm dating, and it's kind of fun. But I did fall for almost a slight trap yesterday. I said, "Oh, let me back up," because somebody was going through something, and I was like, "What do you need right now?" And they was like, something, $300. I said, $300. I'm not giving you $300, but they were fine. It was just stuck on the side of the road. They had lost some tires. They got picked up. The tow truck came. They were good. It was fine. But practicing being nice really will have you being a little too tender. I did think about it for a slight second.
You a tenderoni.
Do you know if your therapist smoke a drink or microdose? Because I know when you be telling her about your nigga, I want to know how she be like, for really? Oh my gosh.
I did ask her one time, like, yeah. She said, Amber, they were fine. They were. He was fine. He was on the side of the road. He got to an exit. Somebody, like the tow truck came to get him. He was good. My therapist and I have an interesting relationship. And one time, I think it was last year, like in November, December, I did ask her, does she ever get frustrated with me as a client, like as a therapy client? Because she actually has been telling me to do the same thing for maybe about 12 years. And I just started doing it last year. and I just was like, when you're telling me about practicing these things, the mindfulness, the vulnerability, the working out these things through these therapeutic steps, and you've been saying it for 12 years. When I finally did it, how did you continue to be my therapist? I would have quit. I would have been like, this bitch.
I was gonna say it's probably a little half and half. I feel like personal trainers are the same way, where it's like, on the one hand, I wish you were progressing and doing what I told you, but on the other hand, job security is high. Job security, you gonna keep coming.
For giving them bills most of the time. I'd be like, how much do I owe? She'd be like, don't worry about it. I said, are you sure?
She used to it at this point. Oh
I
man.
think she is used to it. I think now is the most like level of growth she's seen like the last like 2 years because she was so used to me just being crazy, which is fun. But she was like, yeah, I just think that you have to stay persistent. And so I just kind of stay persistent with you on it, and it doesn't get super. I mean, it's frustrating, but it's not like the worst thing. I was like, yeah, I'm sure not the worst client you ever had. For real, for real. And then I be sending her TikToks sometimes, and the TikToks I think help because sometimes she'll explain something to me or she'll like tell me about something like to practice or whatever. And then I kind of get it, but I don't get out of the way. And then sometimes I'll see a TikTok about it where the person is explaining it a little more in depth, and I'll send it to her and then we'll talk about it. And I think that kind of helps too because she's older than me. She actually just turned 60 and I didn't even know. I thought she was like 40 something. She looked like 40 something. I think that's what happened when you're not a racist white woman, but she looked like 45. And I was like, yeah, I think it's because like I need someone my age to give me a realistic example. For like someone my age, sometimes the examples she gives me aren't the best examples. So then we'll talk through the TikTok I sent her. Now, the one thing I don't like is that she be sending the TikToks I sent her to her other clients. I said, don't be doing that shit. This is the me and you thing. I'm not giving you supplemental instruction for your other.
Therapists ain't loyal like the barbers out here. Sharing barbers.
Dre is funny. He said, Amber takes her therapist you up. I'm trying to unpack some shit. I actually do be texting her and be like, you will not believe this shit. And I do send her stuff. Now, she will say, if you need something, you can text me. But I do not like to text her at random times because I do think that like therapists and other folks should have regular lives. But if it's really something juicy or something, I do be texting her about it.
Is your therapist white, Amber?
Yeah, remember she told us that?
I don't think that this is important.
I must.
She told us that a couple weeks ago.
I missed that. I must
My
have.
therapist is a white lady.
Okay, I must have missed that. My bad. I'm zoned out.
I've had
Interesting.
the same therapist since I was 13.
Well,
so
it sounds
I'm
like
not
you're helping
changing
her out.
Therapist because I mean, who got time to do that? Somebody also said something about paying her, being my tax write-off or something. She actually might be doing that. I don't know because I know she owes taxes. So we be talking about that, but I actually really like to pay for therapy services. I think it's important to pay for the services you're receiving. So I mostly do pay the bills, but sometimes she'll be like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's just a few $100s, like at the end of the year," and I'll be like, "Are you sure?" So she might be using it as a tax write-off. I don't know. I know she owe a lot of money in taxes. She told me that I should do quarterly payments for my taxes, and she was like, "Nah, I be missing mine, but don't be like me." And I said, white people can do shit like that. Black folks can't be missing a quarterly tax payments. They're gonna be on our ass.
Since we were talking about therapy, y'all put decolonizing therapy and the pain we carry on the reading list. I absolutely will. I need to put it in the run sheet.
I'm doing that now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I will say KJ, my therapist, is definitely effective. And I have considered changing therapists seriously, like seriously considered and looked 2 times. I don't think it would be beneficial for me because of the long history I've had with the therapist. Like she literally knew me since I was 13. I'm 31 now. So that's a lot to talk about with somebody else. And I just don't feel like doing the labor. And I waited too long now. I thought about doing it when I was like 25, but now I really waited too long. I just can't do it. I also think that like the whole you need a black therapist thing is beneficial if that's really what you need. If you feel like the person you're talking to understands you, she understands me most of the time. Like I never feel like I'm having to teach her anything. She will always say like, and if I'm asking you something, you feel like you're teaching me something, don't answer. Like she's very cognizant of stuff like that. She's also Jewish, but she's not Jewish. Like Jewish people who are Jewish, but they don't practice. So I always get like really interesting information from her because she doesn't practice Judaism. She's a little more like she's very radical about it. I'm able to ask her like more questions and shit, and she pushes back on a lot of the like Israel stuff. Like she's like, yeah, they're fuck niggas, like they're horrible people. She'll like explain different stuff to me and like how she explains it to other clients who would ask her about it. So I think she's pretty good at like not seeming like she's not like conservative, but I think she's pretty good at like also not seeming like I'm having to teach her things to be my therapist. If I ever felt that way, I would definitely get a different therapist. But Yeah, what Jay just said. She's ethnically Jewish, but not religious, so she's secular. Yes, she's ethnically Jewish. And I had to figure out what that meant. She had to explain it to me because I didn't know what that was either. I didn't know what ethnically Jewish meant. I know that Jewish is ethnicity, but I know some people who are not Jewish by ethnicity. So I was getting confused. So she explained that part to me too. I
And
also would say, Brittany, it ain't but like maybe 3 conscious Black therapists in the city of Memphis. I'm not gonna hold you. And they not taking no new clients.
Yeah, they
Every
probably
time I've
capped
looked
out.
for a new therapist, they was not taking new clients. The
Yeah.
Black ones was like, no, we're full.
It's a problem. So before we close, you talk to your therapist about politics. How does that come up? I usually hear that
I
therapists
talk
aren't
to her about
supposed
it
to do that.
sometimes randomly when I'm asking her questions about like stuff that she sees, because she doesn't live in the suburbs, but she lives like near a more like a higher tax base. So like I live like kind of in the hood, midtownish, and she lives a little bit near there, but closer to the suburbs. And so I'll ask her like what she's seeing, like what kind of commercials she's seeing, what she's hearing, what kind of signs she's seeing about candidates, because the way that people run races in certain areas is completely different. And I like to ask her about that. Like, what does she see? But she's a Democrat. Like she'll ask me who to vote for. She's asked me who to vote for several times. And she also will say, like, but if you don't want to tell me or something, you don't have to tell me. Like, I don't want you to feel like, you're having to give me all these instructions. Like, she's very cognizant of that too. But she'll ask me what I think about someone, or she'll ask me how something works. Like one time she was asking about the budget because she saw something in the news about the tax increase, that she was like, I support it. I think that it's important for us to pay for services, but how would that work? And I told her how that would work. Like they have to vote for it, which isn't a huge explanation. Like it's just, they have to vote. They have to have 7 votes. Like, she don't be asking me super in-depth stuff, but I can always tell that she means well. Like I never have felt like she's doing something maliciously. And I always could tell that she really wants to know about it. If she's asking me about it, she really wants to know. But I don't want my identity to be having a white therapist, which is why I don't like to bring it up. Brittany.
Hey, you bring up everybody else's. You gotta, you gotta roll with it.
It's not my fault. I'm following how the cards fell this way.
You said 13 years old. I mean, that's a deeper relationship, not one you even have full control over.
And therapy can't ever be neutral anyway. Like if we believe everything is political, I don't know how it can be really neutral at any point.
I don't think it's neutral at all. I think everything is political, and she believes the same thing. Like we have very deep conversations about like my beliefs and different stuff. I don't ever feel like she doesn't understand that. She definitely relays that part, but also she gives me good advice. Now, am I taking the advice? I'm not, but I have recently started taking the advice, and I can see a difference.
I mean, that's what I think she knew that was coming. So it's probably why she's been saying the same thing for a decade.
And thankfully to me, she says the same thing, but she does add a little difference in there here and there. She'll add like a little tinge in there, like, because da-da-da-da. She'll add a little extra example so it's not her saying the same exact thing every time. Like she's not like drilling it in me, but she is pointing out that this is the exact thing I need to do.
She same meal but plates it differently. Got it.
Yeah. Also, if I was her, I would want to stick around to see the what's it called? Like when someone says the fruits of my labor. Yeah, I would want to stick around and see the fruits of my labor. Shit, because now she happy as hell. It only took 20 plus years.
I'm sure the therapy session will get easier when the clients follow the advice and work the steps and all those things. Maybe. That's nice to hear. Okay. I don't know, we're getting closer to your doctor's time, so just want to close this out. Geechee, you said you were resting this weekend, so I don't know if you have anything to promote. Amber, how about you? What you got going on?
I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, y'all both got a light weekend.
What you got? What you got going on?
Yeah, what you doing? You doing something?
Yeah, well, I have to. I am reviewing. We had our Theory Thursday last night, 7 p.m. Mass Call is coming up next week, so got to prepare for that. So check out Black Windows YouTube channel if you haven't. I don't think I have any events going on this weekend, so I'm gonna just catch up with some things. And Chris Payne, Letters Like Rain, every 17th of every month. So we've been talking about that political prisoner. So I did write a letter. I got to mail it out to him. So just Want folks to keep that up, to keep supporting the campaign, the Free Chris Payne. And yeah, I'm gonna also look into this sister song organization. I want to hold that critique and come correct next time. So I'm gonna shout out good work where we see it. And that's it for me. So with that, as Chairman Fred Hampton once said, as we like to say, peace if you're willing to fight for it. Thanks for tuning in. Friday Remix, Geechee, Amber, Lorik. Enjoy y'all's weekend.
Peace, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.